Here we are. Here we are. Selection Sunday. Selection Sunday. Merry Christmas to all the ball knowers tuning in tonight. But there are 68 schools tonight who got their roadmaps on their quest to play for a national championship and go to Indianapolis and go to the Final Four. There are 68 teams remaining, and they all know what the path is going to be. It's the best day of the year. You can't top it. And icing on the cake for you, I'm sure, because the Purdue Boilermakers, improbably enough, I doubt coming into this week you even thought this was a possibility, but the Purdue Boilermakers are Big Ten champions.
It's so wild. We jumped from like a 4 seed projection, like we're kind of still on that 4-3 seed line. We jumped up to the 3-2 seed line. But today, I mean, I think it was going to go, if we won today, we were going to get a 2 seed. We were going to be a 3 seed if we lost to Michigan at all, or like got
you were going to be. Yeah. Let's be real. You're a 2 seed, and you were going to be a 2 seed regardless because they don't factor in these Sunday results. Like,
I mean, I did see like Winardi talking about that. It was like they had 2 versions of the bracket ready to go. And we'd flip-flop with, like, Michigan State. I was the one I think we were going to flip with.
Well, and probably enough. Hats off to you. The Purdue Boilermakers are Big Ten champions. And, dude, this is as we are joined by our compadre, Matt. This is, Matt, we're talking about Purdue winning the Big Ten championship. And this, like, what happened, congrats to Jacob. And what happened, I think, these last 4 days with Purdue is just an encapsulation to why this is the greatest sport on the planet. Because Purdue, preseason number 1, and all we heard for months from Jacob, from non-Purdue fans, was what's wrong with Purdue? How can they turn this thing around? 4 days, 4 victories, and an entire season of frustration has completely been reversed by the Boilermakers. And for like great senior class for Purdue, for all the struggles this season, the losses in Mackey, I'd say what happened this week in Chicago probably made up for all of it, winning the Big Ten championship. So congratulations to Jacob. Congratulations to Braden Smith and this Purdue senior class and the Boilermakers on a hell of a season and a well-earned, well-deserved Big Ten championship.
We played our best ball of the year, like today. Like this week, we played our best ball of the year, like hands down. Like Smith and TKR were locked in. And Lawyer and Clough were all locked in the whole week, and I think it showed. I know there's been a lot of talk about Braden Smith breaking Hurley's record. A reporter asked him earlier in the week, I think it was maybe after he beat Nebraska Friday night, how much does that matter to you? And he said, he doesn't matter. It's all about winning. That's what he said pretty much. And I am impressed. We out-physicaled Michigan. Like, that was the story of today's game. Like, we out-hustled and out-physicaled Michigan. And for as big as Michigan is, that's an impressive feat. Like, there's a reason we are a 2 seed today. And that's what it, I mean, that's why we moved back up to a 2 seed.
Matt, would you like to get in here and give your first thoughts on Selection Sunday and the field of 68 being locked in?
I am still currently buzzing from Roman Anthony's moonshot that he just hit in the WBC here. But, yes, gladly, shout out to Purdue. That's a impressive feat for them. I don't know if I would agree with everything you just said there. I still think if Queens beat them, I do not think that it would make up for everything. But
very true, because we went through this with Auburn a couple years ago. Yeah. Like we won the SEC tournament, and then Friday we lost to Yale. So it can come down very quick. Like,
I don't necessarily agree, but Yeah, I think that's very cool for Braden Smith. Very cool for those seniors who've been there. Been through quite a bit of ups and downs there. So yeah, that's a cool story.
Man, are you celebrating your alma mater? Fran McCaffrey going to the NCAA tournament?
I mean, one, it's crazy that Penn is in that situation to begin with. Just to take you back, the program for years has kind of like not been the black sheep of a lot of those top programs of the Ivy. There's like your Harvards or Yales have kind of run it. Princeton made the Sweet 16. But the Ivy has been begging now that they do a top 4 format for another team to get into the mix. And yeah, credit to them. They've invested in Fran. They got the best arena. Besides like Cameron and Allen Fieldhouse in the country, arguably, and Mackey, I'll give Mackey some love over the Palestra, but an incredible win. Not something that anyone in the area, anyone that follows the team expected, but Fran in year 1, it was just kind of expected to be like a retirement tour, like Fran's going to retire here, and it's a cool thing that he's back to being the head coach at Penn, and here we are. Just an incredible achievement, beating Yale, the best mid-major probably in the country. And the best part of this, obviously, is that it's I wanted Penn, Nebraska, but instead we do get Fran and Brad Underwood. So I guess that's a good consolation there. Illinois is probably going to beat them by 40, but nonetheless, very cool moment. TJ Power all over the place.
Shout out.
With started at Duke, went to Virginia, now at Penn, and he is not going to be the best player in that game against Illinois, unfortunately, but he will be someone that Illinois has got a game plan for, and someone who's definitely going to score in bunches there. So he'll probably have 25 or something, but yeah, it's going to be a situation where Illinois is probably going to run through him, but it's great. It's really cool for the Ivy League, and to have multiple champions now in the last few years, like an underratedly strong conference. They got the Auburn win. They obviously have Princeton going to Sweet 16. Harvard's had some good years here and there. But the university,
Really, Luke?
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Hey,
The universities in the Ivy League have like huge endowments. So I've always wondered for years, like why they just don't do like what Michigan has done and like slightly bend for some of these athletes. But yeah, because they can definitely afford them. But enough about the Ivy League.
William Luke, if you want to jump on, I can send you the link. By the way, you have an open invite. I just want to throw that out there. But
yeah, Penn winning the Ivy League, not quite as impressive as Purdue winning the Big Ten, but definitely fun day across college basketball, all things considered, and definitely my favorite day of the season in college basketball for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you root for 15 different schools, so like that worked in your favor today because you had a Penn win and you had a John Calipari win. So
the Calipari win was definitely, I mean, it would have been more satisfying if it were Florida, but and as Jacob so affectionately referred to Mark Pope as Uncle Fester, he's now got to get ready for Santa Clara. So, yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Fester.
Dude, I just thought about that.
Golden fucking chirping him in that game was one of the clips of the season.
I really like Golden. I know that Golden's definitely got his controversies and everything, but yeah, that was a savage move on his part there. So
yeah, if you just keep him away from like teenage girls, like he's a pretty like entertaining guy, but.
Well, the best one that they were like, he won't even let the deficit to Vanderbilt get to 18 or something there. But
oh my god,
yeah,
man, what happened there? That's one of the like. I don't want to spend like we have a bracket to look at, so I don't want to spend like too much time like hammering out. Obviously, like we'll bring up like conference tournament stuff, but like what happened? Like that was probably the most shocking outcome of this whole week was Florida just getting run by Vanderbilt because we all thought Florida was about to go to Nashville and roll through this thing, and that did not happen.
Well, and Tyler Tanner didn't play great either. in that game, and they still just took them to the woodshed. The guards were not great for Florida that day. Just, defensively, they weren't great. Vandy made a ton of shots, so not necessarily like a panic or anything, but it's definitely surprising because I think of all the power conferences, the SEC was definitely along after Duke, obviously in the ACC. I think everyone kind of had penciled in that the SEC was Florida's to lose, and so definitely a shock there.
You had Ole Miss making a run almost to the championship game. Chris Beard almost played bid stealer.
I mean,
Out
we
of
would
the
be remiss if we didn't shout out that AJ Store's collegiate basketball career has unfortunately ended. At I believe how many schools he's been to now, it's hard to keep up with, but it's crazy. If there were I know we talk a lot of people with Baseball Hall of Fame, like, oh, what team's he going to go in with, kind of thing, and if AJ Store were to declare his allegiance to one of these colleges, I don't know where it would be. It's
Keyshawn Hall.
Keyshawn
Hall as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about my team is not dancing this year, and didn't I don't know. I'm I have two feelings where I'm just like, no, we lost too many games, we didn't deserve it. But then as I was diving into this bubble stuff the last couple days, I really don't understand the case for Texas over us. Just straight up, just going straight by the numbers. And this isn't me bitching sour grapes and anything. None of the other bubble teams I have a gripe with getting in over us besides Texas. Texas is the one where I'm just what am I missing here? We have a head-to-head win over Texas. Every computer number, we check over them, and we have two more losses over them, which can be attributed to the fact that they're 2-8 in Q1A and we're 2-10 in Q1A. So I just Texas is the one that I don't really understand the case for Texas in over us. But like I said, it's not me bitching sour grapes and everything, just blindly yeah, we deserve to be in. Texas is just the one. If we didn't make this thing, I don't know how Texas did.
It's a fair point. I mean, Auburn, I think it was just honestly half of it was the record and what it ended up at, and I think that mattered more to some people.
But that's not a criteria.
No, it's not. But it's a precedent that they've used in the past that they've never put in a team. A game over 500. It's not criteria, obviously, and not something that should necessarily be held against them. But I don't really hate that critique that they put Texas in over them. I mean, make no mistake, we are arguing over the tallest midget here. All those teams are. I do not know what an appropriate spread would be for Tennessee and Miami.
But I think whoever wins that Texas NC State game can beat BYU there in that first game.
Yeah, sure.
Is what
that's definitely possible.
They're all simple, right?
Go ahead, Jacob.
I said I've actually got BYU in the Sweet 16 just because of AJ DeBansta.
Did you guys happen to hear on the show? By the way, VCU would have been out if they lost.
Yeah,
today.
I saw that.
VCU would not have been in the field if they lost today, which was very surprising to me because there was a little confusion because when they were first unveiling the bracket, I believe it was Clark Kellogg said Miami was the last team in the field. And then when they went and asked the committee chairman about it, he was like, no, they weren't. They were in ahead of SMU, Texas, and NC State, which I think NC State was all. I don't think any of the bracketologists had NC State as low as they ended up being.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a weird thing on the selection show where they said when they showed Miami of Ohio last team in the field, and then the committee chairman was like, no, that's or he said. They were selected last, but then when they re-rack the teams after they're selected, they slotted which I don't.
They moved them down, essentially. They selected them before other teams, but they got when they did the reseeding for reseeding purposes, they got put in the first four.
Yeah, that didn't really make a ton of sense to me, but
no,
it can be what it. Miami of Ohio deserved to be in.
And
I
they
mean,
are-
it would kind of question, like, if they didn't get in, it would kind of be a black eye on the selection commission or committee. Because
Um,
a team with 31 wins doesn't get in. What are
yeah,
we doing?
undefeated in the regular season.
Yeah,
Granted, I wouldn't have felt really bad for them if they didn't
not
get in
in the
because
least.
it's like don't fucking lose to UMass and
Like, schedule real teams. Play a quad one game. Any one of them. Like, yeah.
and don't lose to UMass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I dare anyone who's watched, like, considers himself a college basketball fan, like, you go ahead and pick Miami over Tennessee, and you go ahead.
The Troy Trojans are in the big dance. I saw them lock that spot up in person last week, which I think that's going to be one of the popular upsets here this week is Troy over Nebraska. We'll kind of get into these brackets as they go, but I mean, just like that was a good segue though to like my initial thoughts on the bracket. Like I had a hard time finding like first round upsets. I don't know where you guys are at, but I think it's just all these one seeds in these mid majors that got knocked out have led us to a situation where like I don't think we're going to see like a lot of big upsets on Thursday and Friday just because all those one seeds going down in these mid major leagues has weakened the field a lot.
I mean, I have some, but not as many. There's not as many potential upsets as usual, I would say.
I mean, William
Because of
Luke
the
brought up
matchups.
Troy, and Troy is an example of like they get a 13, and if most of these one seeds like held form like they should have, Troy was probably looking at a 14 or 15, and like they moved up like one or two entire seed lines just because of all these one seeds going down.
Oh my gosh.
I do have Troy over Nebraska. I do have my biggest upset pick. I'd say is I have Akron in the Sweet 16, which William Luke mentioned. Akron over Bama. I think Bama's primed to get upset. I really do, just based on how their season's gone.
Matt, did you have like we'll throw these regions? Jacob, I sent you the pictures by the way if you
Yes,
want
I
to
did.
throw the regions
I can-
up. But
I can
just
start
like an
throwing up.
initial thoughts, Matt. Like, also Matt, you are none too happy. You claim the SEC got screwed.
I do
This
not
is
think the
basketball
SEC was
season, by
fully
the way.
respected. Yeah, I do not think the SEC got its respect. I think they got kind of regions, but
They still got the most teams in though. So I don't know how you can say the SEC got disrespected. Like,
yeah, I mean,
they did get
disrespected
the
in the
most
sense
teams.
that like Vandy should be probably seated a little more favorably. Their reward for beating Florida is potentially having to go through them again, which I don't
That was
think
crazy.
either team is thrilled about that. And then Arkansas got kind of a pretty tough draw themselves. I don't know how like Bama gets the easier seed line draw than Arkansas does there for winning the conference.
Because they don't count Sunday results. Like they're like the bracket's done. We're not changing this. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing that happened when Auburn won it a few years ago. Like we were also seated below Bama because it's Sunday, and they're just like, nope, we're not changing the bracket. Good luck.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if some of these teams like pulled one over. Like McNeese beating Vanderbilt wouldn't stun me. Obviously, Troy beating Nebraska wouldn't be stunning. VCU beating North Carolina wouldn't be shocking. I don't know if you just consider Santa Clara beating Kentucky like a huge
I have that
upset.
one.
But like I wouldn't be stunned if some of these teams ran into pretty hard times there. Like I don't think High Point will beat Wisconsin, but I think that could be a game. Like
that is going to be the best game of the first round.
That's going to be one of those games where it's just like whoever has the ball like can outrun the other team pretty much.
But I think in that East region, that's the one where like, Northern Iowa's a legit top 25-ish defensive caliber team. South Florida is really good. North Dakota State has been playing really good basketball. This is one of their best teams ever. I mean, UCF ran through a pretty tough Big 12. Cal Baptist isn't a bad defensive team. So, yeah, I mean, that, like, I'm not going to pick half of those, but it's not as if I would be like stunned. If Idaho beat Houston, that would be pretty stunning.
Yeah,
that would be one of those where that came out of nowhere.
It's funny you mentioned that like sub-region with Wisconsin, High Point, and I think Hawaii will give Arkansas a game. I really do.
Hawaii's a good team. I mean, Hawaii defends really, really well. Certainly better than Arkansas defends. You know, that'll probably be one where it's like a close game, and then maybe Arkansas pulls away with like 8 minutes to go or something. But yeah, and like same thing for, you know, High Point, but yeah, like they're decent quality teams. I just think that the gap between the better teams and the rest of the pack is pretty significant this year because of, as you said, a lot of those top teams have gone out, like the Yales, the Belmonts of the world, who would be capable of really beating some of these teams, are not in the field.
Yeah. I was trying to like I don't know, I lost my train of thought there. Go ahead. Let's start up a region. Let's start talking this thing. I guess real quick before we do that, like, anybody got like any? I feel like it was a fairly like, it wasn't a super controversial bubble this year because all these teams were so bad that nobody felt bad for any. I guess the only point of contention was Miami, Ohio, and they're in. And I don't think anybody's complaining that like they're going to Dayton because they lost to UMass. So had they beaten UMass and then lost to another team, I don't think they would be in Dayton. But they kind of like made their bed with losing to UMass. But other than that, I don't think it was like a super controversial bubble this year.
It's the least controversial bubble of all time. I can't think of one where there was any kind of indecision or controversy that's going to linger into the coming
last
days.
2 weeks.
There would have been a lot of people mad if Auburn got in because of the record thing. Like Auburn is, I think Auburn was like Auburn and Miami, Ohio, obviously, and like were kind of like the only two like super controversial teams on the bubble.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Andy Enfield getting SMU to the tournament, man. Like, good for him. Like, hey, I think he's done a good job there considering what he inherited. They were on the bubble last year, didn't end up getting in. They get in the tournament. Congrats to SMU and Andy Enfield. That's big for them. And also,
before we get into anything else, did you guys both watch the selection show?
Yes, I did.
I did.
Did you find it awkward at any point, like this all unfolding in front of Bruce Pearl, and then Bruce Pearl getting to question the committee chair as well? Like, why, you know, what the metrics were that kind of kept Auburn out of the field. Was that at all kind of tense for any of you, or?
I mean, I was expecting them to like pan to Bruce Pearl as soon as like the bracket came out and be like, what do you think? Like,
they kind of did. After the bracket was done, revealed, they like panned in on him like to give his thoughts, essentially.
I'm guessing that like they let Bruce know before they went live, like, hey, Auburn's not in. Like I'm guessing like that wasn't Bruce's like live reaction to finding out Auburn wasn't in. Like I have a feeling like just for live TV purposes, because they didn't want Bruce like throwing a fucking coffee mug through a camera on the set. Like they let him know like before the show, like, hey, just so you know, Bruce, like Auburn isn't in. Like,
and of course, be remiss, Jacob, you got the Clark Kellogg pick of death, if you will.
It was Clemson last year.
No, I thought
I'll be right back, guys.
Clark Kellogg actually picked the last two national champions.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe he's on to something.
2023 and Florida 2024.
Well, UConn won 2024 and Florida won 2025.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
He had picked Clemson out of nowhere, and then McNeese ravaged them in the first round. So, yeah. Clark usually enjoys going out on a limb with those, but yeah, I don't know. And can you explain to those of us who are not always like minute for minute tuned into the Purdue game why Braden Smith is wearing number 41?
He apparently tore his jersey in the first half himself. I guess he had I don't know what he was doing. I didn't see it, and then all of a sudden I saw him in number 41, and I was like, "What?" And everyone just went nuts. It's like, who's this new player on Purdue? Painter had him on the bench all year.
And will you be buying a number 41 jersey?
It's already bought. It's already bought. I pulled the trigger.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a superstitious element involved that he should just rock 41 the rest of the season.
Yeah. I saw the picture there. I don't remember seeing that in the game. I must have been taking a piss or something.
We ripped it like going in the locker room, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's when he did it.
What else? I mean, you guys just want to get to the regions. Do you have any other general thoughts on the bracket, the selection show, conference championship week, any of it? Like,
I do have the most bad beat of the weekend. Utah Valley, the way they lost.
oh my God.
That was horrific. Like, they had a wide open dunk and just like he hit the rim. Like, not even. He could have
just gotta say it in general. Like, this weekend delivered, man. Like, we had some awesome games. Like Arizona and Iowa State. Jaden Bradley nailing that game winner on Friday night. That was awesome. Wisconsin and Michigan Wisconsin and Michigan was awesome. Matt, I hate to break it to you. Like, we do not care about the fake baseball Olympics. Like,
I'm sorry, Julio Rodriguez just robbed a Judge home run.
But yeah, Arizona hit the game winner against. Like, we just had great game after great game this weekend. Dayton and St. Louis down to the wire.
Yes. Akron and Kent State.
Akron and Kent State. It's great.
Or Toledo. Akron, Toledo. That's what.
Toledo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it.
Just great game after great games. And Arizona Houston was awesome yesterday, as everybody expected. Michigan, Wisconsin, like I said yesterday, was a barn burner.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to mention his.
Dude, that sequence in the Dayton St. Louis game, nobody called a like we got to see like a last 15 seconds like back and forth played out, and like neither coach called a timeout like that entire sequence. Like, they were just letting it play. Like,
the live video of it in person, that was such an insane sequence. You see people screaming. Like, one side of the arena stand up and then the other one stand up. Like, that's just pure March.
Oh, right no. We're playing in the NIT, boys.
Oh
no.
We tweeted we're hosting bracket, or graphic. Who are we playing? I gotta look this up.
Turn the comments off.
Oh, God.
I will say Indiana declined the NIT.
Smart move.
Yeah.
I wonder who we're playing. I'm about to look this up. Keep it going. I gotta look up the NIT real quick.
I'm trying to you'll probably play a 1 seed from.
We're the number 1 overall seed in the NIT. Hell yeah, boys.
Oklahoma must have not accepted then, because they were.
We're playing South Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
10 p.m. Eastern?
What in the world? I guess they don't care about viewers for those games, but still.
Dude, we're going to win this thing. Holy shit. We play South Alabama. If we win that, we play the winner of Seattle and St. Thomas. And then the other side of the bracket's George Mason, Liberty, Nevada, Murray State. Then New Mexico's a 1 seed, Wake Forest. We're going to win this thing. Dude, that shit, we're gonna be NIT champions, boy.
Oh, jeez.
Where's the NIT championship game at?
It's not at MSG anymore. I don't know where it is.
It's at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
So I hate the optics of it, but with the first year coach, I get it, because you want to get him as much game experience as you can, and he gets to at least get another taste of playing postseason basketball as a first year head coach.
Quiet,
So-
please. There's a commercial for the Crown on.
Have we seen a crown bracket yet?
I don't think so. No.
I'm sure
Yeah.
the DePaul Blue Demons will be in there.
Go ahead, throw us up a region, Jacob.
I got it presented already.
Oh, okay.
The East region.
All right.
We'll start
So
out.
the biggest. Can you zoom it in or something?
Let's see. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, just zoom into like the top half, and then we'll just
Yeah.
kind of like scroll
Okay.
through it
Okay.
so I can actually read it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's small on my screen.
I mean, that's just Twitter, the Twitter image.
Okay. So I think the biggest question in this bracket, Matt, you were right. I originally was like, wow, like great draw for Duke, and then like as I was kind of going through and doing more research and picking these games, I was like, okay, maybe not. I'm gonna straight up say it. Like I'll ask you guys right off the top. Do you guys have Duke in the Final Four?
Yes, I do.
I do not.
No, neither do I.
I know who you have, Matt, but so like the biggest question going into this is going to be like we assume Caleb Foster is not going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. I think Gongba's health is going to be Gongba's health is going to be like the biggest question here because if they don't have Gongba, like especially when they get to that St. John's game. St. John's is going to have their way with Duke inside the paint if they don't have Gongba, and that's like the biggest question here.
I mean, there are a few questions. It's a really, really much tougher draw than I think it's being given credit for. For being the number 1 overall seed, they definitely got the best 9 seed in the field with TCU. That is a team that has been more battle tested than probably like any 9 seed that I've seen in recent memory. Not to rack your brain for all-time great 9 seeds here or anything, but it's just one of those things that they took Kansas to overtime at Fog. They nearly beat Michigan. That was like a 4-point game at TCU. Beat Florida. Kingston Flemings need to have a masterclass of a performance to have Houston beat them. They won at Texas Tech. They beat Iowa State. I don't know I don't know if TCU will beat Duke, but I'm gonna guarantee they're gonna cover against them and make it really hard on them. So that's kind of step one. They kind of got jobbed just in the second round alone. And still, if Iowa State comes out, or if Ohio State comes out of that, Ohio State is still not a bum team themselves who's gotten some pretty big wins this year. So yeah, I just think it's a really tough, especially the head coaches like Jamie Dixon has taken teams deep in the tournament before. Rick Pitino, Bill Self, you got Izzo in the region, Dan Hurley in the region. It's a tougher draw than I think people initially gave it. I think when people saw it at first, they just kind of were like, yeah, Duke's in, but that's just not the case. So I do think that Duke is probably going to barely beat TCU. They're going to barely squeak by TCU. And I do think that the Kansas St. John's winner is going to beat them.
I've got Ohio State over TCU there. I just think Bruce Thornton's going to come out and try to, play his heart out. I really think TCU's a good team, but and then I have Duke over Ohio State because I don't think Ohio State has the depth to keep up with Duke. Of course, I have Kansas and St. John's. I mean, Northern Iowa, maybe a sleeper pick over St. John's, but I don't think I'm going to pick that there.
We're probably going to get the Patino Self matchup that we were robbed of last year.
Yeah. The thing with St. John's, I'm just afraid to pick them. After last year, I had them going decently deep last year.
I have St. John's coming out of this region.
I think Kansas gets St. John's. I just really do.
I think
I
so
feel
as
like-
well. Yeah.
I really think it's going to be Kansas Duke. At least
Kansas
on
just
top
got
side.
the fucking shit kicked out. Man, it just like I don't know, man. It's just hard for me to pick teams like when they just come off these massive and like Houston just punched them in the fucking face in that game. Maybe I'm overreacting that one game, but
I just
I-
think Houston's a final. I think Houston's a Final Four team. We'll get to it.
and
Later.
the way St. John's dominated UConn, like that's their third time seeing a Dan Hurley coach team this year, and the way they were just able to dismantle UConn in that game, I don't know. Like it seems like Patino's got this ship right, and
It's just all
like-
these teams physically are really tough matchups for Duke. Like Duke is a really physically gifted defensive team, but then like that's St. John's calling card, and UConn's played in the Big East, which is the most physical conference. So they like, I think it's just a really tough draw for Duke without.
and if they get Kansas as well, like Kansas
Yeah.
is a defensive juggernaut this year.
So I think Kansas will beat them. I think in a winner take all scenario when they got a like week to prepare, I think I would trust Kansas in that situation. And they'll have I do think they'll have the best player on the floor. Like I think if Darren Peterson is locked in, I think that he's better than Cam Boozer, and they have Badunga. They just match up with them in a way that I don't know if these other teams can, match. Like Kansas.
Well, it's the same with if they get St. John's. Like
Yeah.
Zuby will gladly have that matchup, and
Yeah.
Zuby's not going to back down from, and they're not just going to and where I kind of really started to have questions about Duke was watching the ACC tournament. It is so much of just pound the ball with Boozer, especially now that they don't have Foster, they don't have Gongba. It is just it is the Boozer show, and if they run into Kansas with Badunga or St. John's with Zuby in the Sweet 16, they are not just going to be able to play the Cam Boozer bully ball game against those teams. It's not going to work. And that's I ended up taking I have St. John's in the Final Four out of this region.
Virginia has.
I would not scoff at that. I think at some point their guards are going to need to really show out to get him there. I don't know if they have the guard play to get there, but they certainly have the coach, and they are, farther along defensively than what they were at the start of the season.
Jacob, go to the bottom half of the bracket.
I will.
As we're talking about it. Continue that thought. I just wanted to make sure we got to the bottom half.
No, yeah, I mean, I am kind of pissed that Kansas St. John's is the matchup there when it inevitably happens, because I think that those are two teams that are Final Four potential, but one of them is going to go out way too early.
The thing with St. John's is they had that blowout against UConn. I thought that was completely unexpected after what they did last time. That was just a crazy game. They did the complete opposite of the previous game they played against UConn.
St. John's bullied them. It was, they really just kicked the shit out of them, especially the last 8 minutes of the second half. They just took over the game. Which is kind of rare. You do not see UConn teams physically bossed around, and St. John's did that to them.
This region is except for that Louisville, South Florida there, those are obviously two teams that are going to get out and run, but
it's all just
when you look
teams.
at it is just this is a defensive bully ball physical region here. When you look at Duke, UConn, St. John's, Michigan State, UCLA, there is going to be some physical that UConn, UCLA. We could see in the second round there. That's going to be a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
Also, send your best refs for that game.
For Dan Hurley and Mick Cronin.
Send your best refs.
Two angry bald white guys.
I didn't even realize this. I was texting one of my family members about the bracket, and I said, "Let's get a Mick Cronin and Dan Hurley matchup." And of course, I think we might get one here.
We're probably going to get one, because UCF has been playing terribly.
for this bottom half, I got South Florida over Louisville. I think South Florida is like, if they get hot, they could be that underdog team.
They
I-
are
I-
hot.
right-
I mean, they're hot right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm taking South Florida to beat Louisville as well. Louisville's just going in the wrong direction.
That's a take the over game. Like,
yeah, like
And
I mean,
Michigan State, I've got Michigan State over them, but I could see that game going either way, them in South Florida.
yeah. I mean, South Florida, I think they've won 17 to 20 games, and like the 3 losses were all like on the last possession. They're long, they're athletic. Yeah, just as an 11, they're just not going to go into a game and not have as good of athletes as the other team. And the whole like Cal Brown thing is hanging over Louisville. He's not going to play. So, yeah, it just seems as if it's 2 teams going in the opposite direction. So, yeah, I mean, I've been wrong about this kind of stuff before, but this just kind of feels like it's heading South Florida's way. So we'll see.
I think that South Florida Louisville game, which like not really like a huge upset, but just like seed line wise, like that's the biggest upset I have in the entire first round. Like we'll get to the other regions, but like I just like I had a hard time finding the upsets this year.
Yeah, which isn't always a bad thing per se, but
Yeah, we're gonna get some
Yeah.
damn good matchups. Like
but yeah, like I would not be shocked if North Dakota State like made it a game with Michigan State. Like Michigan State is not a good like it's literally just Fears. So like if you somehow find a way to stop Fears from scoring and kicking people, you'll be in pretty good shape. So
If you keep Fears and Carr out of the paint, they don't really
Yeah.
have much
I don't think North
unless
Dakota State
Jackson
can win,
Kohler
but
shows
yeah.
up.
yeah,
I think the sleeper team here for like deep run is UCLA. Like
I
if they're
agree.
healthy.
Like,
I have
Matt's
UCLA. I'll look-
Matt will hate my take, but like I was really thinking about taking UCLA over UConn. There
It
in
would
the
be more
second round.
realistic if they had all their guys.
Yeah, and we don't know what Dent's status
Mhm.
is after his injury. I think they said he could have come back in that game, but
Yeah,
Cronin pretty much decided to shut him down.
yeah. If they were fully staffed, that would be. I mean, they still probably will be dangerous. But yeah, that's a game where
And Bill-
that'd be a tough draw.
Bilodeau's injury isn't too severe based on what they said.
If
the
you-
UCLA Purdue game yesterday,
If you had to pick like 112 or below in this region to like pull an upset, like who are you taking?
In the first round, or
Yeah, just in the first round. Like I'm
I
not
would
even going to
say-
go as far to say the second round, but
I would say Northern Iowa over St. John's. Furman could give UConn a game, but I just don't know. It just depends on how Wilkins and Cooper Bowser do.
it would have. Yeah, I mean, 12 seed or below would have to be like Northern Iowa because they are the only team with like a legit, really good defense. But they're not. I don't think they could make that game really close, but they're not going to beat St. John's.
yeah, I would probably go North Dakota State.
Yeah, and that's not a bad pick either.
But yeah, I really don't see it happening for any of those. Like,
Yeah,
Cal Baptist is going to get run off the floor by Kansas. Shout out to Furman, great run, but
yeah.
they're probably going to get punched in the mouth by UConn.
Furman's
Alex
probably the only
Wilkins-
15 seed in
Yeah.
history that has actually paid players and uses their NIL to get people. So, yeah, aside from that, though.
If Alex Wilkins takes over that game, that might be a close one.
So let's go Sweet 16 in this. Like, I'll go first. I have Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, UConn. And then I have Michigan State over UConn and St. John's over Duke. And I have St. John's over Michigan State to get to the Final Four.
That
In
would
this
be
region.
a hideous Elite Eight game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, this whole like literally all like all these teams that are going to advance to next weekend in this region, like we are going to see some because I mean these are some of the best defensive teams in the country in this
1970s,
region.
80 ball.
Like we are going to see some bloodbaths like out of this region.
I've got Duke, Kansas, Michigan State, and UCLA. I've got Duke over Kansas and Michigan State over UCLA. And then I've got Duke coming out of the region over Michigan State.
I have Duke, Kansas, Michigan State barely over South Florida, and UConn. And then Elite Eight, I have Kansas and UConn, and I am like that will be I will take UConn for my bias, but I would like Kansas probably has like objectively more offensive talent than they do. So, yeah, I would not. I mean, Kansas is underseeded given their talent, and if Darren Peterson is going to play 35 minutes a game, then it's going to be hard for anyone to slow that down. And yeah, but I'll take UConn just because they have guys who've been there before, and if they want to grind it out, then thankfully this will be a good region for them because offensively they have been rough.
And it's just like UConn has a really hard time, like especially with Terrace Reed, like staying out of foul trouble, and that might be like what kill. And they're just like I've been waiting, like, and I trust Dan. Like Dan Hurley's a great coach, but I've been waiting for like Demery or Solo Ball to like take that step forward all year, where you're like, oh yeah, like this is like Demery, like this is what they brought him here to be, Solo Ball, like this is, and they just have not at any point this season like been able. Like there was a point there, kind of like in the middle of the season in like January, where Demery started to get it going, and it just hasn't happened, man. And I just like that's why like once I think UConn will. Like UCLA will give them a game, but I think they get through the first weekend. But I think that when they get to Michigan State there in the Sweet 16, presumably, that's where I think like I trust Michigan State's guys more, and they've been more consistent all year with Fears and Kohler and Carr. Like I just trust those guys more than what I've seen from UConn's guys this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to knock anyone for unless you have Furman beating them. I'm not going to knock anyone for having them eliminated, earlier than they probably should be. But
and I was hoping for some quality Husky Mac content tonight. We're just not.
I'm trying to remain balanced as possible. I mean, I do think that they have a team capable of winning a title, and they have a team capable of going out in the second weekend. So, as frustrating as it is, they should get through with Duke's issues. They should get through. Like by talent alone, they should be in the Final Four. But yeah, I think they'll play Kansas, and hopefully they've already beaten Kansas once here. Hopefully, they can do that again. So, yeah.
If we get St. John's UConn Part 4 in the Elite Eight,
oh my gosh,
that would be wild.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle that one there. But yeah, I mean, if that happened, that would be great for the sport. Number one, I would fully support that. And I don't know.
John Fanta would be over the moon.
Yeah, he would be like literally, like the Vince McMahon of college basketball, emceeing that event or something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would probably welcome Part 4 of that matchup because it's the same kind of thing that probably not the best example, but like every time we talk about playing against the Seahawks, you're like, yeah, that version of Sam Darnold is still in there. We just have to bring him out. And like that version of St. John's clanking all those shots and not being able to score for the last 12 minutes of a game is still in there. Just got to find it and pull it out of them. But yeah, so that would be my hope if they play St. John's again. But I don't know. I mean, they have the best coach in the region. UConn does, and they should make the Final Four. So I will stand on business, and I will pick them to go to Indy.
I do have my UCLA pick over UConn is dependent on Donovan Dent and Tyler Bilodeau's health. But I could switch that one around. But right now, if they're healthy, I think UCLA gets a win over UConn with how they're playing.
I think the only thing that would really truly shock me out of this is if it was how the hell did Louisville make the Elite Eight or something?
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah,
getting anywhere would be
that
wild.
would shock me. So yeah. But other than that,
yeah,
that should be. I mean, it's probably the most entertaining region on paper that I would have. That I'm legitimately interested in, how many teams can make a Final Four. And I don't know if that says more about Duke's quality or just the amount of good teams that have done it before in that region. But I just don't have the same kind of watch out for Virginia. I don't have that same kind of upside, if you will, for some of those other teams.
I can move on.
So we got a Duke, a UConn, and a State. So we got 3 different picks out of this region. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to what we got next.
Guess we'll move on to the South region.
So yeah, Matt, you mentioned crazy that Vanderbilt, their reward for beating the shit out of Florida was all right.
Yeah.
Well, get
Beat 'em
through the
again.
first weekend, and you'll have to
Yeah.
beat them again. So right off the top, this Florida got an incredible draw with this 8-9 matchup here
Mhm.
because they are going to blow the doors off of whoever comes out of that Iowa Clemson game.
Yeah. I think I've got Iowa over Clemson just because of Bennett Sturts.
I think I picked every 9 seed over
Yeah.
every 8 seed in my bracket.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa also just because that's I'm pretty sure Ben McCollum and Starts are 120 and 24 or something in their careers together, something wild. So I'll give them another game together.
Mm-hmm. Iowa plays good. I know they had kind of fell off at the end of the year, but there is talent there on that Iowa roster.
We completely omitted Siena in the last bracket, but congrats.
Shout out Jerry McNamara.
Yeah, if he's not hired at Syracuse, that would make very little sense.
It sounds like Brian Hodgson might be the guy there. I don't know. Either him or if he says no, McNamara might be the backup.
Shout out Prairie View here, by the way.
Yeah, the Wild.
That was an incredible run out of the SWAC.
They had I don't know if they had any D1 wins outside of their conference or something crazy like that.
Thanks for joining us.
So we don't think Florida's going to have any issues there.
No.
Well, moving on. We've talked a decent amount this year, and here it is. Nebraska has as good a chance as they'll ever have to get their first tournament win in program history. But they're playing a good Troy team here. If we're gonna see any of these lower seeds really make something happen in the first round, this is one of the ones I was considering because Nebraska has not been inspiring lately after that 20-0 start, and now they've run into a good Troy team here, who was one of the 1 seeds in their conference who was actually able to make it through the muck and actually get to the NCAA tournament. So, I
feel like both those games there could be potential upsets. Because McNeese, they came out and dominated Stephen F. Austin in their conference tournament championship.
McNeese is going to be a popular pick, but after how Vanderbilt played in Nashville this week and the way they just dismantled Florida, I'm going to have I don't think this
Yeah,
is
I picked
the
Vandy
matchup
over
McNeese
Vandy.
was hoping for of all
Mhm.
these 5 seeds.
That's my thoughts exactly. Like I was like at first I was like, do you want to pick this upset? I'm like, no. I do have Troy over Nebraska though. Nebraska kind of looks they don't look like they did to start the year. They kind of are falling back to the average, if I had to say.
I think Nebraska probably gets that one game against
Mhm.
Troy, and I think this the most pressure that has ever been on a 4 seed in the history of the NCAA tournament in the first round.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I
It's
mean,
kind of like Nebraska or Northwestern a few years ago when they made
yeah,
their first tournament appearance.
yes, they famously won, and then Gonzaga. They actually played Gonzaga pretty tough that year until Chris Collins got himself a technical for no
Yeah.
reason.
Then we had that famous clip of the kid crying.
Yes, yeah. But no,
um,
yeah, I think Nebraska probably ekes that one out, and they make a huge deal about it, have a parade, and then Vandy beats them.
hey, they deserve to have a parade for it.
Yeah,
Very popular pick is going to be that VCU over North Carolina game, but just have to note there that this game is in Greenville, South Carolina. There's going to be a heavy Tar Heel contingent at that game, and I'm just gonna this one I thought about picking. VCU's like looked really good this week in the A10 tournament, but I don't think VCU has anybody that can match up with Vasar, and I think unfortunately North Carolina's in the situation where they're just expecting Vasar to carry them with no Caleb Wilson. I think they're able to get this one over VCU. Um, between VCU not matching up well with Vasar, and then what's going to be, I mean, that whole arena is going to be in Carolina blue in that Carolina VCU game. So that'll basically be like the Dean Dome South, and I think Carolina is going to win that one against VCU, but that's going to be one that a lot of people are picking.
I have VCU over North Carolina just for the lack of Caleb Wilson. Like, I just feel like UNC is going to come into the tournament. They're not going to feel like they're together as a team. I just feel like VCU is going to get out, just kind of grind the game down and make UNC hit their threes. And even with the strong
UNC is
contingent,
yeah,
is
and
just going to
VCU
be
last
pounding.
year would have grinded UNC down, but they're not that kind of team anymore. Like VCU is a real like pick up the pace kind of team, so they'll try and run on UNC.
But I think Carolina is just going to pound Vasar inside in this game, and VCU doesn't really have the size to match up with him. And like that home court advantage is going to be like a big part of this. That is going to be like a North Carolina home game in Greenville there.
Yeah, I mean Djokovic is big, like for VCU. Like he's like 6'9", 6'10". So like they have guys who can go match up with Vasar, but I don't know. I think it's more or less like athletically they'll probably be a little outmatched. It'll be a lot of Terrence Hill for VCU, their best player, and yeah, I don't know. The Greenville stuff definitely matters. I think that comes into play. But ultimately, I don't think they can beat UNC playing their style per se. So I think they'll have kind of a hard time with that. But I mean, that should be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if VCU beat them. I mean, VCU, like inside, they're just going to have to be incredibly disciplined because they just don't have a ton of depth in their front court to hold up against Vasar and what the kind of looks that UNC can throw at them. So, yeah, I mean, it's happened before. Like Lehigh beat Duke in Greensboro. Like that kind of stuff has, happened. But yeah, it's just like I would give UNC a pretty slight edge just on paper and talent. I think they have a little more versatility offensively. So I'll probably slightly lean UNC in that game. But I think VCU can make it like a 1 or 2 possession game.
your alma mater there, the Penn Quakers. We get that Underwood Fran McCaffrey matchup. Any chance
The angry
of Penn
man.
keeping that one close?
No. I'm just gonna
Yeah. Keaton
probably
Wagler.
not. I think this was like if they played Virginia, I would be so all in. Like I would be like, yeah, I would definitely be like, yeah, they're definitely gonna beat Virginia. If they play Gonzaga, honestly, I think they would match up better with Gonzaga than they would, because of Huff being out and TJ Power being a pretty tough matchup for them. But yeah, I just think Illinois is probably the best 3 seed in the field, and that's just a miserable matchup. It like if they try and play the like kind of Fran McCaffrey basketball that they're accustomed to playing, Illinois will eat them for lunch, and yeah, it's going to be tough on them. This is one of I will say this is one of Fran's best defensive teams that he's ever coached. They're good on defense. They've been playing really good basketball, and Illinois, because of how fast they want to play and how susceptible they are to kind of getting into track meets with teams where they kind of lose track of things on the defensive side, I think that could potentially help. But yeah, they're going to have to really just slow them down, limit more possessions, and that's not really the kind of basketball they want to play. So, yeah, I would probably say that Illinois, of all of the 14 games, this one might be probably the most surprising if it went the way of a 14. This Gonzaga game. So
yeah, I was about to say Kennesaw State will not be beating Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, that's a horrible matchup.
But yeah, so it's really cool. But it's just going to be tough. That Illinois team, I think they like. I'll have to check where they finished, but I think they're the highest rated offense in the Ken Palm era, just behind Duke last year and Wisconsin.
No,
in
Purdue actually ended up
number 1,
finishing ahead of them after
really?
today. Yeah,
All
Purdue's the number 1 offense in the country.
Well, hell, the Sunday games do matter.
Yeah.
So shout out Purdue there, but yeah, I don't know. It's a very long-winded way of just saying like good season Penn, great start to the Fran McCaffrey era there, but yeah, that Illinois team is probably going to hang like 90 on them.
All right, we spent entirely too much time there on Illinois. Jacob, when do you have your Brad Underwood's number 1 hater? When do you have Brad Underwood getting picked off in this thing?
I think I have him Houston beating Illinois.
Okay, so you have them getting to the second weekend.
Yeah, I do.
I wanted to move on to this next pod because this next matchup I think is of all the games in the first round where we talk about clashes of styles. Like this is probably the best like clash of styles game against 2 evenly matched teams that we have in the first round, where we got St. Mary's with Randy Bennett's like muck it up, grind it down defense that we know they love to play, and like they have not had the most success in March, like when they get matched up with power conference teams and like translating that style, and we've seen them lose to Santa Clara twice this year now, which we know Santa Clara likes to run and gun, and that's why I'm taking Texas A&M here. But I was like this clash of style where we got like that grinded down St. Mary's defense against Buckyball, which is like 40 minutes of like run, gun, shoot threes, press the entire 40 minutes, and that's like, and that's why I favor A&M here because it's like any Bucky McMillan coach team, like they're not going to be intimidated by St. Mary's defensive pressure because like they're like, okay, cool, like they're like like this is what we do, like so like they practice for this like all the time, like this is how they play, but it's going to be an interesting clash of style with St. Mary's and Texas A&M here. And I'm taking Texas A&M in this one, but it'll be like this is 2 drastically different styles, and it'll be really entertaining to see which one ends up coming out on top.
I have St. Mary's over Texas A&M for 2 reasons. Because I mean, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga that last game, of the season before the West Coast tournament. And then I have I don't think Texas A&M's kind of slumping. They didn't have a great performance in the SEC tournament. I thought they were going to, but they did not. They're just kind of year one, Bucky. It's kind of his first roster. I feel like once he gets more talent onto his roster, I feel like they'll start being more of a team to watch out for. I just don't think this is the year for Bucky McMillan in Texas A&M. I think St. Mary's has more experience. Like I feel like they're going to have the experience edge over A&M, and I feel like that's going to be the difference.
Gosh, we were doing so well. You picked A&M to make a SEC tournament run, and
Yeah,
now you're back to hating Bucky's guts.
yeah.
No, yeah, I'm taking A&M as well. I just think that their style is really hard to prepare for in an NCAA tournament setting, and Bucky has kind of been on the doorstep before of winning NCAA tournament games, and I think they'll get it done over St. Mary's, and they'll probably get crushed by Houston. But good year one for Bucky.
I'll get into this a little bit later, Rob. But,
yeah, that was actually an upset that I considered picking was A&M Houston because I don't know, like Houston's guards like very talented but can be streaky at times, and like they take a lot of shots off the dribble. That's a big part of this offense, and I think with A&M's pressure and the pressing and like their guards can get into slumps, and that's why like I do think A&M can give Houston problems in that game. Ultimately, I ended up picking Houston. I have Houston advancing to the Final Four out of this bracket. More on that later, but setting up for a national championship rematch in the Elite Eight, which would be awesome. If Houston, obviously, like we're looking at, if Houston can get past A&M or St. Mary's there, and then they would match up with, which by the way, if Houston ends up playing St. Mary's, like my God, like
Cover
we
your
were talking
eyes.
earlier,
Yeah.
we were talking earlier about like gross matchups, like in physical games, like
Yes.
Total will
Houston,
be 80. Yeah.
yeah, like Houston St. Mary's would meet that criteria.
First team to 40 wins. Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, you don't seem to be along the same wavelength there of A&M giving Houston any problems, and then Jacob, I imagine, like if you're picking St. Mary's here, nobody in the world should be picking St. Mary's to beat Houston because there's no way Houston is losing to that team. Like,
No, not at all.
you're not going to beat Houston at their own game.
No.
Matt, you seem to have a different tone about Bucky Ball versus Houston there, but I think they can give Houston's guards some problems.
No, I actually think that style could do pretty well against Houston. I just don't think they have the players. They don't have the players to do it yet, and maybe sometime in the future they will. But this year's Houston team, I just think that would be kind of a tough matchup for them. That would be on short rest, short time to prepare, so they're. It's harder to prepare for Bucky Ball than Houston per se, but I think Houston's just a better team than they are, and that should probably be like a 15-ish point win for them.
All right, so we'll get down to kind of like Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four in this bracket, but so I have Florida, Vanderbilt, Illinois, and Houston advancing.
Does anyone not have that?
Honestly, great question. I feel like if there's anything, VCU will probably be a trendy team people pick to get out of the first weekend. But being realistic, probably not going to happen. I just imagine like a lot of people are going to feel the need to like force like a double-digit seed to get out of the first weekend in their bracket. And I feel like VCU will probably be like the trendy one people pick to do that.
Illinois is too good to do for VCU to get out of that region right there.
What did you say?
I said Illinois is too good.
Wow, I thought
for the teams that are there, like I don't think any of those teams are going to give them trouble. Although Brad Underwood could always have a crash out, but
This is Jacob's like coaching hell in this.
yeah,
Like this, we got Brad Underwood, Fran McCaffrey, Bucky McMillan, Kelvin Sampson, like just Jacob's like least favorite humans on
Yeah,
earth,
yeah.
like all of them in this region. Like,
It's a shame Tennessee's not in this region.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
the trifecta.
or Furman, like
Yeah,
Both of them can score it.
Houston and Furman would have been a great like Jacob hate watch, like or like not even a hate watch because he's just mad either way.
yeah.
So I know Jacob is not a fan of Houston basketball, and
No,
um,
you'll see
Uh,
here in a minute what I have happening.
but yeah, so we're all in agreement there. It sounds like Florida, Vandy, Illinois, Houston.
Yeah.
So any chance Vandy can run it back against Florida and do what they were able to do yesterday again next weekend?
Yeah, there's a chance. I don't think they will, but like Tyler Tanner again was not good when they played Florida, and you know there is a chance that he could turn it around and really turn it on against them a second time around. But I just think that Florida's too good and Golden's too good of a coach to allow that to happen a second time.
What I am interested in doing.
Did you do your Sweet 16 already from this region?
Yeah, I think we're all three.
Okay,
Florida, Vandy, Illinois, Houston.
Yeah, and then I've got Florida and Houston.
If there was a
Yep, I also
region,
I
Does
also
not have that. Yeah, like I think that this is a clear, like of all the regions, this is the clearest like collision course between the 1 and 2 seeds.
I don't know. I was watching
Elite Eight.
the field of 68 guys, and like most of them were actually picking Illinois over Houston. I don't think Illinois can handle Houston's physicality because
I'm just not there. Yeah.
Who in the Big Ten is like, and it's like I'm favoring a lot of these Big 12 teams because it's just been a freaking gauntlet in that league this year, and all these teams are defensive juggernauts, and it's like, who has Illinois except for Michigan played in the Big Ten that like gives them like that level of relentlessness on defense, and then it's like this is we talked about earlier this year. It's like Kingston Flemings is like the best player Sampson has had at Houston. Like Houston has not had, and on any of Sampson's teams, like a guard with the ability who's probably going to be a top 5 pick, like Flemings, and like that's where like if Illinois is like if Wagler's having a great game, like Houston has a guy now with Flemings that's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA that they can rely on and like go and put up 30 points. And it's like for 40 minutes, like Illinois, I don't think can handle Houston's physicality for 40 minutes. They might get out and make some shots and make it a close game, but when we get down the stretch, like I don't see a path for Illinois to pull that one out. Because you gotta be big and tough and physical and be able to handle it for 40 minutes, an entire 40 minutes.
They pull that out is if they just shoot like a crazy amount of high efficient threes that they make. That's the only way. Like Houston's offense, I think, is kind of like set wise, it's pretty limited. But you are correct; they have the ace in the hole, which is a guy that can create points on his own out of nowhere. Yeah, I think they're limited offensively. If that game gets into a really high scoring affair, that definitely benefits Illinois. But yeah, I think as far as Houston's concerned, I don't know. If you make Illinois beat you in the half court and you don't have anyone on your team that can defensively be attacked, like that's kind of how they make their money when they played Purdue at Mackey. It was just like, let's hunt down where Oscar Clough is and let's get open shots off of that. Houston does not have a hole defensively. So I think it's going to be tougher for them to score in a half-court game. So, yeah, it's a tough matchup for Illinois for sure. But also at the same time, it can be a really tough matchup for Houston if they put on a clinic and they're in a situation where they're down like 35-14 or something because Illinois made a ton of shots. And, yeah, it That should be a really good game, though. I mean, like that's a Final Four level game in the Sweet 16. So yeah, I looking forward to that game quite a bit, but I do think Houston should beat them. Like, I think if you played that game 10 times, Houston probably wins 8 of them.
So we all have Houston, Florida there in the Elite Eight.
I think whoever wins that Florida Houston game, I think they're going to be in the national championship.
So I'm taking man. Like, I thought about it a lot. I'm taking Houston here because it just
I got Houston.
Sampson, if he gets that game back, and like he is not going to lose to Golden again, and let what happened last year happen again. Like that is like if we get to that point and it's Florida and Houston, like I feel like it's fate for Houston to avenge the national championship last year and win that one, and especially like I'm a lot less confident in Florida based off what I saw in the SEC championship. I honestly think the SEC is just kind of weak this year, and like Florida has made their money beating up on a lot of good, not great teams in the SEC. As we see this year, like they have the most teams in the field, but not a lot of great teams. And I don't know, like Houston has run through this Big 12 gauntlet all year. Like they gave Arizona a great game. And I think if it gets to that, like Houston's not going to be intimidated by Florida's bigs. And yeah, I know there's no Jawan Roberts on this Houston team to put in the paint and deal with Florida's bigs, but like they're some tough motherfuckers. And if they get this rematch of Florida, that's just where and ultimately, like I think this is one too where I think like Florida's lack of any backcourt, which like we know Fland and Xavier Lee have been playing better, but they've been playing better, but they haven't had to deal with the physicality of Houston and a Kelvin Sampson level defense, and that's ultimately where I think they can just have Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee in hell this entire game, force a ton of turnovers. I don't think they're just going to let Florida pound them with their bigs, and I got Houston in this rematch.
I think similar things. Like I feel like Houston's just going to dominate guard wise against Florida and just kind of take the game over, control the pace, and force Florida's bigs to get more physical instead of just going to the rim like they have against teams like Arkansas or, kind of just grind the game down and make Florida play their pace.
That'll actually be like a fun matchup just due to the really contrasting styles that they both kind of want to play against each other. In Florida's case, it really will just come down to like if the guards can be decent. Like if the guards can play a decent game, that should be enough to beat this Houston team for them. If they can't, then that's where they're going to run into some pretty big issues. Obviously, we've talked about the guard depth and just the high-end guard talent for them is not there. And I think that for Florida, like they're going to have to really get creative with how they slow Flemings down. He'll be the best player on that floor when they play. And I think for the Houston bigs, I think it's more realistic for them to show up against the Florida bigs than the Florida guards show up against the Houston guards. Like, I think that is just a really tough ask for Xavier Lee and Boogie Fland to like show up for what's going to be demanded of them in that Houston game. And they just haven't seen, like, we talk about the Big Ten not being like a really physical league. The SEC this year was not overly physical either. There were not a lot of teams in that conference that were willing to kind of shot for shot in the paint or slow the game down. Like the best team, Arkansas, just won the conference playing literally no defense all season. Vanderbilt's not a great defensive team. You know,
Other than Tennessee.
yeah, like that's
And this
probably
wasn't even like a vintage Rick Barnes defensive team
Yeah.
this year either.
So I would say just due to all that, I'm just kind of led to believe that that's going to. Now, granted, Florida had a very similar case last year. They had to beat Texas Tech. They had to beat UConn on their way to the Final Four, and then obviously beat Auburn when they got there. So they've done it before, but I think it's not kind of that same Florida team. That Florida team last year had a legitimate closer. They had Walter Clayton. I think if this is a one possession game and you're in a situation of a tie game with 30 seconds left in that game, like who are you drawing something up for? If you're like with Houston, it's clear.
Well, they're going to try to pound it in with Howe.
Yeah.
And Houston just won't let them do it.
And I think that if they're going to concede a jump shot to a Florida player, I would take that if I were Houston over. If I'm Florida, like, yes, the paint will be guarded. They're going to make Fleming's probably have to take a jump shot to beat him as well. But I just trust his creativity a little more in that situation. And this is where, like, kind of the lack of guards hurts Florida. So I will take Houston in a close one over Florida. But, yeah, we'll see.
I think that we've covered South region pretty good.
Hold on. I'm coming back.
Okay.
Where is the Elite Eight and Sweet 16 in the South? Do we know?
Houston.
We have to
Houston. It's Houston.
So
We didn't even mention that. It is in
Houston.
Yeah,
Houston,
it's
Texas. Like,
Houston and Houston, I think that's a pretty big bump.
Yeah.
granted, Florida did beat Houston in the national championship in San Antonio
They
last
did.
year.
Yes, very true.
I just don't think Florida has a player to take over the game like Walter Clayton did last year.
So this is one where we agree. We all got Houston here.
And as you said, with just the rematch and everything, like, just the way Houston runs their program, it's hard to see them allowing themselves to get beat by that Florida team again.
Hey, this is I forgot to ask for this. If you want to zoom back in, Jacob, 12 seed or below. If somebody's going to do it in this region, who's it going to be?
I think Troy.
Yeah, I would say
Troy,
unanimously it would have to be Troy.
Yeah, it seems like we're all a lot along the same wavelength in this region.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Midwest region.
Let's move out here to the Midwest. So first off, we got the battle of the DMV there, UMBC and Howard.
Yeah.
For the right to go get slaughtered by Michigan. Any chance UMBC can do it again?
No. The America East is so bad this year. And I think that UMBC probably earned the spot over LIU to not have to go to Dayton, but yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, we get the battle of the DMV there. Howard and DC, UMBC and Baltimore. So we get a nice little for the DMV boys. Nice little battle there. Georgia St. Louis. That'll be a take the over game. I had a hard time picking this Georgia St. I ultimately went St. Louis, and my bias probably played into this one a lot. But I don't know. This was one I had a hard time picking. Number one, like, I'm not just going to sit here and act like I'm an expert on St. Louis basketball. I didn't watch a ton of their games this year, but Georgia is one of the best offenses in the country. You know, they're going to try to get out and run and gun, and St. Louis also, but St. Louis also has a great offense, and but I don't know. St. Louis is kind of skidding coming into this one. I think I picked St. Louis here. I don't know who I ended up picking, but that was an interesting matchup there.
I picked St. Louis over Georgia just based on I think Robbie Avila is going to take over, and I don't think Georgia has a caliber of a player like him that can just take over a game.
Yeah, I also picked St. Louis there. I mean, Georgia's path to winning games is just like I mean, we talk about all the time, like the teams that just want to chuck threes, and Georgia's basically like, we're going to make our 3-pointers at a 60% clip, or we're going to lose all year. That's pretty much been their strategy, and it's worked for them enough to get to this point. And but yeah, it should be a pretty high scoring game here, and I ultimately ended up going with St. Louis there.
Yeah, took the Billikens. High scoring game. That'll be pretty close, but I do think St. Louis is a little more offensively creative, and if the shots aren't falling, they're gonna probably be better in the half court than Georgia is. So yeah, I'll take St. Louis in a close game.
I got a feel for these teams drawing Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan is going to slaughter whoever wins that one.
Yeah.
Michigan's just going to blow through this entire pod.
And then I have Akron over Texas Tech. Moving on to the next one.
I ended up going Texas Tech here, but like if we're going to see like a 12-5 upset this year, like this would be the one. But I ended up going Texas Tech here ultimately. But I don't know. Texas Tech is just going in the wrong direction. They're banged up. They're not playing great. The LED court did them no favors in the Big 12 tournament there. But I ultimately ended up going Texas Tech in that one. I actually disgustingly, I don't know, like how does Alabama always get these draws?
I was waiting for this here. Yeah.
I mean, they get to play Hofstra, and then if they win that, they're gonna destroy Hofstra because Hofstra is just like it's the same when they played Charleston a couple years ago. It's like they're playing against a mid-major that's going to try to out Alabama. Like
that was a decent game though. That was a decent game.
Yeah, great draw for Alabama here. Like Alabama's going to the Sweet 16, I think, out of this pod. Like because
I have Akron upsetting Texas Tech,
but Akron's another one. Like they're just going to try to run and gun with Bama, and like you're not going to beat. Like none of these mid majors that play that same style are going to beat Bama at their own game.
Akron is also like a shockingly bad defensive team. Like we talk about teams that have literally like no commitment to defense. Akron is very bad on that end of the floor. I probably would agree with you. I think that High Point and Akron probably are the best of the 12s that have the best chance to win a game. I don't know. I just think Texas Tech is way too athletic for Akron, and like I think that Christian Anderson is still like significantly better than anyone that Akron has. I think they're going to struggle to guard him. And Texas Tech has played. They're battle tested enough. I think that they should beat Akron. I'm going to pick Bama to beat Texas Tech anyway. But I don't know. I think that McCaslin's too good of a coach, and there's still enough talent on that team and pride that they should beat Akron. Should, but we'll see. That's why they play the games, and that'll be. I think that's like 12:50 start time in that game. So that'll be kind of early in the day. So Akron might be able to sneak up on them there. So we'll see. But I don't know. I just think Texas Tech is too athletic for Akron.
I mean, I can't get over this, man. Like Alabama just like hit the fucking gold mine again. Like, dude,
I'm
how?
You have
how did they get this draw? Like,
I'm shocked you haven't mentioned that Greg Burns on the committee.
He is.
That you haven't mentioned that yet, but
you agree, like this is a fucking incredible draw for Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather. Yeah, I mean, I think like Hawaii's better than Hofstra. I'm trying to go through the 13s and see, like, yeah, I mean, they probably got the weakest of the 13s. Probably. Hofstra's a great story, but that is like a mid major that is like more than happy to be there.
Speedy Claxton.
Yeah, like I think that's a fun story, but yeah, it's a favorable draw.
Well, but
for
they
Bama.
shouldn't even be a 4. Like they just like did like. How did Vandy get a 5 and Bama gets a 4? Like they didn't get punished for losing a fucking quad 3 game to Ole Miss and Nashville at all.
I don't know. I can't explain that. I would have had them as a 5.
Bama and Vandy should be flipped.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Vandy should be in this spot where Alabama is, and Alabama should be in Vandy's spot.
Yeah.
I was disagreeing with him. I was saying I would take that.
Yeah, agree there. But yeah, I would say that Bama Texas Tech will be a really good game. Bama's going to have to defend Texas Tech because they're certainly going to throw the kitchen sink at them on defense. So
I just think like the thing is like Texas Tech is like Akron's. It's like it's going to be an up tempo game against Akron. We know that, like you said, like I think Texas Tech has the better athletes there. I think they end up winning this one, and they're just going to turn around and play another up tempo game. A team that we know McCaslin, like, I mean, they were only playing like 7 or 8 deep as it was, and then you had the Toppin injury. Then they got banged up in the Big 12 tournament, and they're going to play another just a high tempo game against Alabama. Like, I think by the time this Alabama game comes around, and then like as that game goes on, like they're just going to be gassed, and I don't think like they're going to have the depth, and I think Alabama's probably going to win that game pretty easily.
Well, I wouldn't say pretty easily, but yeah, they definitely have the better guards, and they match up a little better. So yeah, I would say that's fair, but I mean, you'll get your day when Michigan plays them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but they still got a Sweet 16 to show for it. Like,
yes, and Auburn has their NIT, so that will turn off the comments if you're the Auburn Twitter admin.
Yeah, they were posting the campaign all week, which I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
Oh man. Jacob, what do you think about this? You said you have Akron coming out of here. What's
Yes, I do.
The blueprint for Akron to advance out of here? You think? Because that would be quite the impressive run if Akron's able to beat Texas Tech and Alabama to get there.
I just think Akron, like they have really experienced players, like all around. Like they're not going to be threatened by Grant McCaslin's defense or Alabama's up tempo style. Like I really think they are the best team in the MAC. I know Miami of Ohio had all of those wins, but I just think Akron is a better team.
You mark my words. If Bama plays Akron, they will put up 130 points. Like LeBaron Philon could go for 50 against Akron. I'm not joking. That would be like Akron just cannot. I just have a very hard time thinking that Akron can like roll the ball out there and be like, let's run Bama and like expect the result to go their way.
Trust me, I'm all for like the blueprint for how that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't see it. Now that I think about it, that would be the most Bama thing ever for Akron to pick off Texas Tech somehow, and then just Bama gets to put up 120 on, and they go through Hofstra and Akron to get to the Sweet 16. Like, dude, it's like I feel like Breaking Bad, where he's like, he can't keep getting away with this. Like,
well, they had the Grand Canyon game after.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Through Charleston, and Grand Canyon almost beat them. Yeah.
And last year they got St. Mary's. Like they got St. Mary's last year, which was a great matchup for them because obviously, like St. Mary's had seen nothing like their style all year, and then like a team that was probably overseeded anyway, and then like the WCC was just not very good last year, and then like you had the year before, like they had the cakewalk to the Final Four that they had, like they get to play Clemson, which like stumbled their way into the Elite Eight. Like, oh Jesus! Like, I don't know. I hate it here, dude. I hate it here so much. Oh, I fucking hate being an Auburn fan so much, dude. I hate it. Like,
Yeah, tough.
I just have my one upset team, and I just think Akron, the way they play out, I really enjoy their style. So
we're gonna get to find out. Let's
Yeah.
move on. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
find out about Miami, Ohio. Do we think they get past SMU?
I think they do.
I will be taking SMU in that one.
Yeah, if you put a gun in my head, I'd probably take SMU, but I want to see Miami go through.
Oh, I do too.
I think
Unfortunately, they will run into Tennessee, and that will not go well.
I think whoever wins that Miami of Ohio and SMU game beats Tennessee.
I have a hard time seeing that. But
I just think Tennessee fans hate their team. Like they've given up
who
hope.
cares
Do
what
they hate
Tennessee
them
fans
this
think? They're idiots. Like
I just think either one, Miami of Ohio or SMU, beat Tennessee.
Tennessee fans, you're like Tennessee fans hate their team. They're all like, "What's this shooty hoop stuff?" Like,
Yeah.
where's Josh at? Like,
Can we get Joey Aguilar back another year? Yeah.
I don't
think that
Tennessee.
honestly, it would probably not be great for the MAC if Miami played Tennessee.
No, it would not.
That would probably people.
It would be a lot better for like if you're a Miami, Ohio MAC supporter and like happy they got an at large. It would be a lot better for you if they lose a close game to SMU than if they had to play Tennessee.
Peter Suter versus Nate Men is not fair. that is someone who's going to be in the NBA for 15 years versus an accountant. So I don't know if that is the most favorable matchup for them.
Hey Jacob, it seems like so you're picking Miami, Ohio to get to the weekend.
Yeah. I just have them over Tennessee.
So you have them over SMU and Tennessee.
Yes.
All right. Well, if they do get to the weekend, this next one is one like I don't think it's going to happen, but if we see like a big upset in this tournament, like Wright State is good. Like they can score. There's a lot of high scoring games in the Horizon League this year, and Wright State's got a great offense. And I think I don't think they're going to beat Virginia, but I think Wright State can give Virginia a game here.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I just think Virginia gets this one done. Wright State,
I think so
they're
too.
good, but I think Virginia handles them easily, to be honest.
I think so too, but there's none of these like lower seeds in this bracket that I'm like super high on, like pulling a big upset in the first round. And I was just like, if there's one where I could see it happening, like I can see Wright State pulling the upset over Virginia here.
Virginia is an incredibly uninspiring 13 or 3 seed rather, and they earn that. I mean, I understand that they earn that spot, but like out of curiosity, does anybody have them going like beyond the Sweet 16 or to the Sweet 16?
I have Virginia in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have Virginia over Tennessee.
I'll probably take Tennessee over Virginia, but yeah, I think that's like a very weak pot of games. Just that whole Tennessee, Virginia, Santa Clara, Kentucky, that whole kind of group there is like, meh.
I'm so out on this Kentucky team. I'm taking Santa Clara there.
I got
Same.
Santa Clara.
Yeah, I'm
I saw that one.
on the Bronx. Yeah.
I think Iowa State has a hell of a draw to the Elite Eight. Like of
Iowa
all the
State-
2 seeds, I think Iowa State got the best draw to the Elite Eight. Like,
They really did. I think Iowa State rolls over everyone here.
I think Iowa State's going to like blow through everybody to the Elite Eight.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say they're going to crush everyone, but yeah, that's where I have them. I have them in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that's a hell of a draw for Iowa
Iowa
State.
State got a better draw than Michigan did, and like
Yeah.
to be completely honest, I would rather play Tennessee and Virginia than Bama and Texas Tech to get there.
I mean, they're going to play Kentucky or Santa Clara, and then Virginia or Tennessee, probably. Like, great draw.
Teams that they are definitively better than.
Yeah, Iowa State they got a better draw than some of the 1 seeds, like you mentioned. But, yeah, like if you put a gun to my head and were like, you have to like guarantee like one team to the Elite Eight, like like in this entire bracket, like it might be Iowa State for me.
Not far off.
So unfortunately, like no chance for a Tennessee State upset here.
No, not at all.
No. I think Tennessee State is not horrible, but no. As for like beating Iowa State, no.
This bracket just got freaking decimated in these conference tournaments, man, and that's how you end up with these situations. Like Tennessee State, like on paper, should probably be in Dayton, and here they are at the 15th. Yeah. I have to pee. You guys hold down for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like Momchilovich is going to tear everyone a new one.
Well, none of these teams play any defense until Tennessee. Like Santa Clara can score with Iowa State, but they don't have the like defensive ability that they have or anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those that like Iowa State should not particularly struggle to at minimum like get to Sweet 16. They should not struggle to get there, and then when they do, like if they get Tennessee, like pretty good matchup for them. If they get Virginia, pretty good matchup for them. Yeah, it's just hard to. Or if you are correct, and if they get Miami, that would be a pretty good matchup for them. Yeah. So, yeah, this would be a kind of a complete failure on the part of Iowa State if they did not get to an Elite Eight.
I mean, I can go ahead and do my Sweet 16 for this region.
Yeah.
I got Michigan, Akron, Iowa State, and Virginia.
Yeah, I got Michigan, Bama, Tennessee, Iowa State. I think there are some close games along the way, but those are the 4 that I go with in that Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm. And then I got Michigan and Ohio or Iowa State. And then I got Iowa State over Michigan to go to the Final Four.
I wrestled greatly with Bama, Michigan. I think that the guard mismatch, like the Michigan guards are not good. Just full stop.
I think Michigan has some serious issues. Like they've rolled for a while, but they've just like they are expecting every team to just lay over pretty much.
Elliot Cadeau has been good. Like I heard you're acting like Michigan's guards are like trash. Like
they are trash.
Cadeau is good. Like
Cadeau stinks. I am standing on I hate Elliot Cadeau's game. I like that Duke game, that is why. I'm like, that is why that team possibly might not win a title because of him. Because he was so stinking bad in that Duke game. And yeah, I like when the rubber meets the road, I do think Bama, like, that will be a really good game because Michigan does not have the guards anywhere near talented as what Bama has. So, like, it would not shock me if that game went to, like, an overtime situation or something. Only because Bama plays no defense. Well, they probably lose. But, like, that's a game where, like, Phylon should have his way without any issues.
I just Michigan, like, I feel like
Michigan's bigs will like Bama's bigs are terrible. There's a reason they tried to go get an NBA player in the middle of the season to play for them. Like, their bigs are not good.
Mhm.
It's like Michigan, I don't think will have any problem with that Bama matchup when they get there. Like, Ade Mora has been awesome. Like, he's just gotten better, like, as the season has gone on. Like, he will feast against Bama inside.
Yeah, I have Michigan easily in the Elite Eight. I just think Iowa State comes out and lights the world on fire against Michigan, to be honest. Like, I really do,
Yeah.
guard wise.
Well, the guards are not really what would do it. Like, Joshua Jefferson would be what would
Mhm.
carry them over Michigan in that scenario. And Lipsey's not bad. I mean, Lipsey, I would rather take Lipsey over Elliot Cadeau, but yeah, I mean, Iowa State would have to like rain threes in order to win that game if they played Michigan, and then still that doesn't account for like Michigan shooting themselves. Like Iowa State's had some really good defensive teams over the years, but this is not like one of their like all-time great defenses that they've had under TJ Otzelberger. So yeah, I would kind of like lean Michigan slightly on this. Like I would probably have like Michigan minus 5.5 would be a spread for that game or something. And I don't know. It's not an easy draw for Michigan, but at the same time, like I don't think they are going to create a ton of problems that Michigan won't be able to deal with.
So I have, because I got in here while you guys were already talking about who you have coming out of here, but I have Michigan, Bama, Virginia, and Tennessee. That's it. That wasn't right. I have Michigan, Bama, Virginia, and Iowa State. Let me try that one again.
Yeah.
But yeah, my bad. And then I have Michigan over Iowa State in the Elite Eight here.
I feel like that's going to be one of those 50-50 games, Iowa State and Michigan. Like, it's going to come down to the wire.
Seems like you. So
Yeah.
you both are Iowa State here.
I will take Michigan over Iowa State.
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
Iowa State.
Matt, you talked all that shit about Michigan, and then you're like, I'm still picking them anyway.
Yes, I am talking shit on Elliot Cadeau unapologetically, but yes, I will. I think that they will.
I don't understand that Elliot. Where does this Elliot Cadeau hit? Like, I think Cadeau. He had a bad game against Duke, but like
I was not a fan when he was at North Carolina, and I'm not a fan.
But he has shot it so much better at
Cadeau,
Michigan this year than what he was at Carolina.
On him or anything, and he got the lamest three to go in that Wisconsin game where it like hit every part of the rim because it was like baby tissue soft and everything, and gosh, that pissed me off. But yeah.
How much money did you have on Wisconsin in that game? Because you seem very irritated by it.
There was a great plus 680 money line on Wisconsin, so that was it was not ideal.
I do know the way Elliot Cadeau kept Michigan in the game today against Purdue. Like, not even joking. Like, he was.
Matt's acting like Elliot Cadeau is like the worst player. He's talking about Elliot Cadeau like he was like Xavier Lee at the start of the year.
He stinks. I am not.
I don't think he stinks.
Yeah.
I feel like Michigan, like, for being as physical as they are, they're kind of soft. Like, straight up. Like, they expect.
Yeah, Jacob's feeling himself now after Purdue won today. He's like,
No,
they're
I'm not
fucking soft.
Bro,
they don't want to see the Boilers again. Like,
they were complaining too much instead of just playing their game today. Like, straight up. If they get into one of those late March games and they're like that, you can say goodbye to a national championship. Say goodbye.
By the way,
to the Final Four.
If Michigan win, like, obviously, if Michigan wins and then Georgia beats St. Louis, we get the Dusty May, Mike White game there in the second round. He was a longtime assistant under Mike White at Florida. So that's just a note there. This is another, like, I'll ask him, like, so it seems like 12 or below if you had to pick one to pull the upset here. I said Wright State already. Honestly, like if I had to pick one, I would pick Wright State before I would pick Akron.
12 or above, I'd say Akron for sure. That's my
We have Akron in the
kind of-
Sweet 16, so
yeah, yeah.
I would do
They're
Wright
my
State
UC.
also.
Akron's my UC San Diego this year.
well, we saw how that worked out last year.
Yeah. So close to happening, but just short.
That was just one I was pounding my chest last year because I was all in on Michigan. I just didn't think UC San Diego had the size to beat Michigan in that one, and that was like everybody was picking that upset last year. And I was like, so I was feeling myself a little bit after that one last year. I had a hefty wager on Michigan, so. Anything else in this one?
I think that's about it. Now we get to the West.
Can we just cut to the chase and Jacob give us the blueprint for how Purdue's going to beat Arizona?
Same as today. Just play physical game. TKR and Braden Smith take over, and Clough getting the boards.
Dude, Arizona has just been so dominant. Like they're like I'm surprised they're not the favorite to win the entire tournament right now. The way they've been playing, like I'm pretty sure Michigan and Duke are still ahead of them. Like Arizona is like
people have watched those teams more than Arizona.
Like if I was you, Jacob, I would not be happy that you got in Arizona's region.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I think whoever wins that Purdue Arizona game is going to be the national championship or the national champion, straight up. That isn't a joke.
We'll zoom in there at the top half.
Yeah.
Let's start going through it.
Okay.
Shout out to LIU getting back in there. I think Villanova sucks. I think Utah State's actually going to beat the shit out of Villanova, and then probably get the shit beat out of them by Arizona. But like, I think Utah State's good. I think Villanova is terrible. Like them being on the 8 line here, I'm just like, I just don't see it. Like they're just a product of how bad the Big East was this year, and they were able to take advantage of it. But I think Villanova's terrible.
Yeah, they're really not that good, and I do. I have Utah State over Nova as well, and then them like Utah State's going to get the same treatment they got from Purdue 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably the blueprint right here. I have Utah State over Nova as well. Jared Calhoun before he goes to Cincinnati.
I think it's Kansas State.
What?
I just want to say that this next pod here is my favorite pod of the entire first round.
Yeah, this is going to be like insane. These games are going to be insane. 100%.
That Wisconsin High Point game, like that over under is going to be set at like 180 probably.
Yeah, it's going to be like It's going to be like 99 to 95 final score, something crazy like that.
And then Arkansas, who also offensive juggernaut that doesn't play a lick of defense, like they're going to be there waiting for the winner, assuming they don't have any problems with Hawaii there.
I couldn't pick the upset in either of these games, but like I feel like these are going to be games to watch for the tournament. I just think Wisconsin, like late in the game against High Point, Nick Boyd and John Blackwell take over. Like High Point's a great team, but I just don't think they have the defense to stop Wisconsin at all.
I mean, this is a draw, like at least like this first weekend, like good draw for Wisconsin, I'd say, because like they're just playing teams that are going to play the same style as them. Like, so they know like playing High Point and then playing Arkansas, like they're going to get to play their style and they're not going to have any defensive pressure like the entire weekend. So I still think Arkansas, like I waffled back and forth on that Arkansas-Wisconsin game. I ended up going with Arkansas because ultimately, like, in a game where I think the margin's that thin, it's going to be that high scoring, I'm just going to go with the best player in the game, and that's Acuff. So I went with Arkansas there over Wisconsin. But, I mean, I think it's a pretty good draw for Wisconsin because, like, they're not going to have a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm struggling here. I have not been in a situation where I haven't picked a 12 to beat a 5. I don't think we'll see it with anyone else but potentially High Point. I am really struggling not to just pick High Point. Yeah, I will. I think I will take High Point to beat Wisconsin. I'll take the Panthers in a close game. And then obviously riding with Arkansas over Hawaii. I think that's a game that they can definitely make close with Arkansas. They'll make them uncomfortable, but ultimately, as you said, they got the best, not only the best player in the game, they have the best, like, 5 players in the game probably. So that bodes well for them. And then, yeah, I would take Arkansas over Wisconsin or High Point anyway, but assuming they get High Point, Darius Acuff will build himself a very nice NCAA tournament resume and momentum going into his NBA career for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these are just going to be great games here in this. Where are these games at?
I think Portland? Is that what I saw?
God.
I think so. I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, I wish that was somewhere. I was like, if this was the Greenville pod somehow, like, I would drive up there and go to these games. Like, this is going to be, like these games are going to be awesome. Like, if they're going to be fun. Like that Wisconsin Arkansas game. Like, I mean, same with Wisconsin High Point. Like I said, that total is going to be 180, and then probably like if we get Arkansas Wisconsin, it's going to be the same thing. And it's just going to be run gun. So it's going to be an NBA game.
Yeah, that'll be really fun if that matchup comes to fruition there.
And I have Wisconsin over Arkansas, of course. I just think Wisconsin's one of those streaky teams. They're built for March. And I think with Arkansas, like, they tend to either play great or, like, they're such a variable team overall. I mean, Acuff's great. It just depends on how the rest of the team around him does.
Yeah, I honestly think where the value lies right now is with the Florida Gators.
Next we got who we got. Okay, first off, who we got in that Texas NC State rematch there, which that was where Clark Kellogg was struggling to get his question out there during the show. Like, were there any like situations with this bracket where like great question, Clark.
Very good.
So yeah,
Texas over.
We got the regular season rematch there, Texas and NC State. I'll be going. I just don't think Texas is any good.
No,
They're like,
I got NC State beating them.
Yeah, Texas is like the one bubble team. Like I said, if I'm mad about anything with Auburn, I'm like, what, like, fucking, like Texas. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, either way, I think they'll lose to NC State here. So, and then Gonzaga's going to obliterate. That will not be a 3-14 upset. Congratulations to Kennesaw State.
Shout out their best player this year got suspended for being in a gambling ring, part of the FBI investigation.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So they've made it through some adversity on here.
I almost made it on my Louisiana Tech pick from last week. We almost had it.
Yeah. What a wild tournament the CUSA was, too.
Yeah. I mean, Liberty got
Yeah.
knocked out by
Went out
Missouri
immediately.
State.
Yeah.
And that was one we kind of looked at, and like we were kind of like, yeah, it's probably Liberty here. Like I picked Louisiana Tech, but we were like
I thought
kind
it
of
would have
thinking
been
Liberty.
FIU to beat Liberty if anyone were going to do it, but apparently not.
Yep, another 1 seed went down past week. So and then obviously like the bit. So we're gonna get like what are we gonna see from BYU in this tournament?
I really think it's going to be AJ DeBance to take over Tom, like 100%.
Because
Going
they
out on
are
a limb with that.
Yeah,
they are on a skid. Obviously, losing Richie Saunders a few weeks ago was a huge loss for them. But and yeah, they're I think like 5-11 in their last 16. I think they've slipped a lot. Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, like I think they probably beat whoever wins this first 4 game with Texas and NC State. And then yeah, it really comes down to like obviously if we get that BYU Gonzaga game, like that's like can DeBansta take over that game and knock out Gonzaga there, or is Gonzaga just gonna obliterate him and end his college career?
Gonzaga's going to stick Ty and Grant Foster all over AJ in that game, so they have actually guys who can take him out of a game if need be. So that's not a great matchup for BYU, but Gonzaga's not 100% themselves. So the Huff injury has kind of hurt them, and I don't think he'll be back until second weekend, so that'll be tough.
I think I've got BYU over Gonzaga here. I think Gonzaga's might be the weakest 3 seed.
Yeah, I haven't been.
What?
Weaker than Virginia?
Yeah, I think so. I think Virginia's a decent team. They just don't have the scoring to go on a super deep run. But
I've mentioned Gonzaga. I've mentioned Gonzaga like a few times because like I've not been high on this Gonzaga team. Like they don't really have the wins, and they're just living on their computer numbers basically to have him here as 3 seed. But with that said, like yeah, like I think a BYU team that's just skidding like on fucking ass backwards into this tournament is a pretty good draw for them. And like I said, like they're gonna lock down. Like they're gonna lock down DeBansta. They're not gonna let DeBansta just take over and beat them. So, yeah, I'm not super high on this Gonzaga team, but I feel like it's a good draw for them here in this pod. Matt,
I'm sorry. I have Sports Center on, and they're going over the women's tournament. Top 3 seeds are 371-1 in the round of 64 since 1994. What are we doing? That is outrageous.
371-1.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that is wild.
Don't bother showing up to watch those games.
371-1. Oh my god. Hold on 1 second.
And they start the segment off with best team outside of UConn and UCLA. Okay. Should be great TV. Yeah.
South
Oh
Carolina?
man.
Question mark.
Yeah, you said outside of UConn and UCLA. What about Dawn?
Is giving it to Texas.
What about Dawn?
I don't know. There's not much love for Dawn on SportsCenter, it seems.
Racist, I think, if you ask me.
Let's see.
But
oh, there's some love for Ole Miss. Wow, they really are not mentioning Dawn Staley. Tough. Interesting.
Is it a down year for the Cox? Is Dawn washed?
I don't know. I think like it's a think it's a UConn year for the women's bracket, it seems. And I know UCLA was very good last year in women's, but I'm not sure if that's carrying over into this year, that they're UConn levels. I don't know.
Isn't some company giving out like $1 million, like if UConn men and women win the national championship, like they're giving like $1 million to some random person?
That would be pretty crazy.
I saw something about that a few
That's
weeks
happened
ago.
multiple times. So
Yeah, they're doing like some promotion where like if you buy something and then UConn men and women win the national championship, then like they'll give like a random customer like $1 million or something like that.
interesting.
Well, we get into the Jacob region here.
Yeah, I think this was a good draw for Purdue, honestly. Outside of it potentially being a Missouri home game, but I mean, of the 15 seeds, Queens, I think that's like the best possible matchup for us because Queens doesn't play a lick of defense at all. Like
They do
are one
not,
of the
but they
worst
do have
defensive
6
players.
scores who average double
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah,
So
double figures.
They can score.
It's kind of like High Point last year where they can just, but I don't think they're as good as High Point was last year. So, and they weren't even the favorite in their conference. But that
I
might,
tend to agree with Jacob. Like it's a pretty good draw. Like he obviously like it'll be a Mizzou home game, but that's assuming Mizzou even gets which I believe I picked Mizzou. But I mean, like we've seen that not matter before though. Like
Yes,
I just don't think Mizzou is that good. Like,
yes, we have seen it both matter and not matter. So
Missouri fans kind of seem to think they won't even win against Miami. So,
and I don't think either of those teams Purdue would see
No.
in the second round are that good. So
no, I think Miami beats Missouri. I think we beat Miami pretty easily.
okay, before we go any further, I just need to get a pulse on like where the fan base would be if Queens did beat them.
oh my god,
I don't want to imagine that scenario, to be honest. I may go into hiding, to be honest.
we won't have any more One Shining recaps
No.
this year
No,
if Queens beats Purdue.
That would that be more devastating than the FDU game?
I would say so, to be honest.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
There's no way.
FDU. The thing with FDU, that team, I didn't expect that much out of that team. Like, we had freshman guards. I knew we weren't going to go to like the Final Four. We were kind of the.
I mean, they could have.
Well, yeah.
If they beat them.
Yeah. But I mean, they just like that team didn't have. It was kind of Zach Edey, Braden Smith, and Lawyer, and then more inexperienced guys. You know, maybe Mason Gillis here and there.
So you trust this year's team more than that year's team?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We have veteran leadership outside of like Edey, of course, and then we have, I mean, just physicality, a lot of physicality.
Yeah, I think Purdue gets out of the bottom of here pretty easy. Anyway, like
that's going to be one of those games. Braden Smith is just going to control the whole pace of the game, pretty much. Is what
I mean. So it's like, is the Purdue team we saw the last 4 days in Chicago? Like, is that the Purdue team that's gonna? Because like, have they figured out their defensive issues?
I really think this team. It's like, it's kind of like last year we weren't that great defensively, but when we got to Houston, we just showed up and played great defense. Like we put in effort.
I ultimately think Purdue has enough where like they won't struggle too much with Miami and Mizzou, but like those are both teams that can score, and like if those Purdue defensive issues rear their head, like they could find themselves in a dogfight with whoever comes out of that game.
Mm-hmm. I really don't think the defensive issues are all that bad. Like unless we play like a team with Imam Chilovich, if I don't think Miami or Missouri have a shooter of that caliber. They can just like hit. 10 threes.
Missouri's
and
got shooters.
7, yeah.
I mean, they can score, and they've proven that they can defend at times also. They beat Florida. So I would say that they would probably prefer Miami if they had to choose between. And, of course, because, like, I just would hate playing against a team, like, really in their backyard in that situation. But, yeah, I think that they would rather Miami.
So Sweet 16 here.
Let me pull
I
it.
got Arizona, Arkansas. I think I think I have it in order here. Yeah, Arizona, Arkansas, Purdue, Gonzaga.
I have Arizona, Wisconsin, BYU, and Purdue.
Yeah, I got Arizona, Arkansas, Gonzaga closely over BYU, and I am still very torn about Missouri, Purdue. I could see either outcome, but I'll give Purdue the benefit of the doubt.
Then I got Arizona, Purdue, and ultimately I
Yeah.
just don't think Purdue has enough to get past Arizona, so I'm going Arizona there over Purdue.
I've got Purdue over Arizona in a close one.
I will take Arizona over Gonzaga in a game where Tommy Lloyd finally gets to a Final Four, beating his favorite school in the world, Gonzaga, to get there.
Oh, Astoria mentioned. Braden needs, I believe, 2 assists against
Yeah.
Queens
Yeah.
to break the record.
He's easily going to get that.
Yeah.
He
We'll probably get
would've-
that before the first
Yeah.
TV timeout.
for
Who'd you
sure.
First question I would have for the group, but mostly for Jacob here. What would what is Braden Smith's legacy as a Purdue player, and where does he rank in the hierarchy of all time Purdue player? Would a Final Four appearance make him the greatest player in the history of the program?
That would put him above
Is he
Edie,
already
though.
there?
I mean,
Edie's
Edie.
back-to-back National Player of the Year.
Mhm. I mean, you've got John Wooden, of course, Rick Mount, Glenn Robinson, Edie. Braden Smith would be up there. Top 10 easily. I don't know where he ranks quite yet. Like, it just depends, to be honest.
Matt, we got to pose a question to you, like being the Cal fan of the group. Like, what's the would Arkansas have any shot to take down Arizona? Like, how would that happen? Because I just Arkansas doesn't play any deep. Like, I think that would probably be a bloodbath. I think
it would be a terrible matchup. Just the bigs alone would make it a really difficult game for them. They don't have.
Oh, here we go.
really
Got the
anyone-
notification. Auburn, New Mexico, Tulsa, Wake Forest, top seeds for NIT.
Oh goodness.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think Arkansas would not have. I mean, their path to winning would rely so heavily on them playing an incredible game and rely so heavily on Arizona being horrible. Just the upgrade from the Arizona guards from last year to this year. I think that's the biggest significant upgrade that any of these great teams that we've talked about have made over the last year now. The difference between Caleb Love and Burries and Bradley and where they are now is pretty significant. So, yeah, I Arkansas has a chance. I mean, they'll have the best player in the game. However, it's going to take Arizona is just such a complete team that I don't think that this is the one seed that I would have picked them to kind of take down if they had that opportunity. But they have a cuff, and because of that, they'll always have a chance. But I think that it would just be kind of a really uphill climb, and they'll just need more. They'll need Richmond, they'll need DJ Wagner. They will need just unbelievable efforts from Brazil and Pringle, and the rotation's so small. Also, Arizona's such a deeper team than they are. Cal's only at most playing 7 guys. So, yeah, I think it's significant they won the SEC tournament, another Sweet 16. But yeah, Arizona is just a class above where Arkansas is right now, and every team for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, ultimately, I think Arizona rolls through this bracket with not a ton of resistance. Like Purdue will give them a game, but I think Arizona will pull away. And yeah, I don't think Arizona has a. This might be the most cut and dry bracket of all of them. Like this is Arizona here, unless I respect Jacob making the case for Purdue. He has to, obviously, but
the way we play today, if we play like that against Arizona, they're not beating us 100%. If we play like we did 2 weeks ago, yeah. But I think I've got to ride with them after beating a team like Michigan. Like, I think they beat Arizona. What I saw today.
anything else on this one?
I think that's about it.
That should be like. I think of all the 1 seeds, I would say that I do agree with you that Arizona would probably face the least amount of resistance from anyone in this region for sure.
I do think whoever comes out of this bracket is going to win the championship 100%.
All right, I'm going to take the bracket down.
Mhm.
All right. So we've gotten to the big part. Final Four, national championship, national champion. Who wants to kick it off?
I guess I'll start. I have Duke and Houston, Purdue and Iowa State. I have Houston over Duke.
Houston over Duke. Oh man, that would be
Yes.
scenes.
I really think
Like,
it's gonna happen.
the rematch.
Gonna happen.
That's the rematch of all rematches. Like,
and then I have Purdue over Iowa State, getting revenge on Iowa State for the game earlier this year. The theme here is revenge. I will say that.
Is
This
it?
Purdue team feeds on revenge.
Hadn't noticed.
Yeah. And then in the national championship, I have Houston versus Purdue in a rematch of the Sweet 16 matchup from last year. And I have Purdue getting revenge on Houston in the national championship.
that would be an incredible run for Purdue.
That would be. I'll give them that. If they win, they will have definitely deserved that.
What you got, Matt?
Got UConn, Houston, Arizona, Michigan. It's tough. I think that actually Houston would be a really favorable matchup for UConn just because like Houston is wildly undisciplined with the foul trouble, and just kind of how just offensively inconsistent they are getting into some of their sets and I don't know. I guess I would take I would biasly take UConn because Jacob's taken Purdue, so I might as well just jump on this. And then I will take Arizona over Michigan. I think that is going to be a great basketball game. And then I think that Arizona is going to probably win the national championship. I think they have the best team. They have the most complete team. And just from start of the season to now, it just kind of has felt as if they have had the most impressive resume. They won the best conference in the country. And yeah, I think that Arizona is probably going to win the title.
So Jacobs, Purdue over Houston. Matt, you're Arizona over UConn.
I'll say Arizona over Houston.
Over Houston.
Why not? Yeah.
If Purdue did not win their game today, I'll probably take Arizona over Houston. would be my national championship.
I'm gonna change my original. I'm gonna have the same Final Four, but I'm gonna go Houston over St. John's. That'll be a bloodbath. I think Houston prevails there. And then Arizona, Michigan, I waffled on. I'm going to go Arizona over Michigan in that one. And then when I first did my bracket, I went Arizona over Houston, but Houston played them tough as shit yesterday. And I don't know. Houston's lost to them twice. Like, I picked Houston at the start of the year as my national champion. This feels like the Kelvin revenge tour. So I'm going to go Houston over Arizona for mine. And I'll say Kelvin Sampson. And if Kelvin wins a national championship here, does he ride off into the sunset and give the reins to Kellen?
I would hope he uses what's happened at Auburn as a bit of a cautionary tale.
Kellen is already the coach in waiting in his
just make
contract.
sure your team is in the best hands possible before you just hand it over. But yeah, it's funny you say that. I had Houston in my first instinctual they lost the national championship in just a horrible way, and now they're going to come back with a vengeance and win it. And it's kind of one of those things where you don't really know how they're going to do it, but you just kind of have a feeling they will. Yeah. So if I weren't to pick Arizona and not pick them, I would probably have to pick Houston because it just, I don't know, feels right for them.
I'm just gonna. When I first filled out my bracket, I did Arizona over Houston, but I picked Houston at the start of the year, and I don't know. It just kind of feels like Houston lost one last year that they should have won, and if they get that third game against Arizona with a national championship on the line, I don't know. I just trust Kelvin, and I really want to see him get one. So I'm gonna switch mine. I'm gonna go Houston.
It's funny, the bracket how it plays out is what I said at the beginning of the year. I think it's collision course for Houston and Purdue. That's just what I believe. At this point in the season, with how they're both playing.
What would be considered a failure for Purdue?
Losing to Queens.
Yeah,
well,
Queens.
Losing to Queens would be a failure for anyone, but
losing. I'd say losing before the Elite Eight, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah.
If we lose
I was
to
having
Arizona,
this conversation
oh well.
with a few people before we got on, but we were going over what non-top 3 seed we would pick to make the Final Four. For me, I had Kansas pretty comfortably as that team.
I can see Kansas. I mean, I have St. John's in mind. So that Kansas St. John's game could go either way. Yeah. And I think whoever wins that game has a real shot to knock off Duke. So, but I went with St. John's in that one for mine. So I guess that would be my answer to your question.
Are you with me on that?
Jacob?
Yeah. For top outside of the, let me look at my bracket.
I don't know if it's possible.
Who could I
Akron.
see? I don't know about that. As far as going to the Final Four, on 3 top seed, I could see. Honestly,
okay. All right. So just before we go out of here for break, real quick,
Wisconsin or UCLA for me, or Arkansas would be the top 3, non-top 3 seeds.
Yeah, I would have felt good about Wisconsin or Arkansas before the bracket came out, but that Arizona matchup's just brutal for them. If it was flipped around and Arkansas was there to play Duke, with Duke being shorthanded, and Like, I think that would be a great matchup for Arkansas. I think Arizona, like, of all the 1 seeds, is probably the worst possible matchup for, except for Florida again, because obviously Florida's handled them this year. But I don't know. I just think that Arizona matchup's brutal for Arkansas and Wisconsin.
And then my friends and I talk about this every year. We usually talk about our Kemba candidates, we call them, or someone who's just capable of dragging their team to a title on their own. For me, this year, I would have probably Darren Peterson or Kingston Fleming's number 1 on my list for that. Would either of you be able to see like any single player just kind of improving their draft stock dramatically and just putting their team on their back and carrying them?
I mean, we've mentioned him before, A-Cuff. I could see A-Cuff doing that.
I think Tyler Tanner would be
That's a good
one. Like, yeah, I mean, if they can knock off Florida again and then get that matchup with Houston, like, I think Tyler Tanner would be one.
And I like for this year also, I think that this is kind of what we talk about, like not conference pride, because that necessarily is not something that we always want to pride ourselves in, no pun intended. But for the Big Ten, this is like, if it doesn't happen this year, like, is it going to?
I think it will eventually. It's like, I mean, like, I think Michigan's going to get there. It's just like, I don't know. It's like if Michigan loses to Arizona, are you like, oh, there goes the Big Ten again? Like,
no, but if the national championship's Arizona Houston, I think it's just kind of one of those things. Like, you got a really down year from the Big East. You got a horrid year from the ACC. This is kind of, you would think, a year for them to kind of put that behind them with one of these teams. But it feels as if, to me at least, Michigan's the only team that probably is capable of winning a title out of the Big Ten.
Not according to Jacob.
Well, obviously not. There are differing opinions.
I mean, I don't know, because, I mean, I have St. John's, Michigan State in my Final Four, like, or in my Elite Eight. So, like, I think Michigan State, like, has a path to get to a Final Four there, because that region's just going to be a bloodbath. Do I think Michigan State can win a national championship? No. But, I mean, like, if you get to the Final Four there, and, you know, you don't know what's going to happen beyond there. But, like, I think Michigan State could also get to a Final Four.
And then, do you have a coach who has the most to gain and most to lose in this tournament here?
You go first on that one, Jacob. I got to think about that one. Yeah, you go first, Matt. You're asking the questions.
So I'm asking questions. Yes, I will gladly take that on. I think for this year, the coach that has the most to gain, obviously, would be one, Tommy Lloyd, because Tommy's never been to a Final Four before. He's had some great teams at Arizona this year. I think he would have the most to gain, having, in my opinion, the best team in the field going into the tournament. I think that would be pretty significant if he were to get a team to a Final Four, win a national championship. Obviously, Kelvin has a ton to gain. National championship on the line, was not able to win last year. But I would also say there are a lot of coaches in that South region. Like Brad Underwood could beat Houston, and that's a team that's capable of making a Final Four. He could gain quite a bit in that. And then for me, some of these coaches who have just a ton to lose, I would say like kind of John Shire. Like, you know, they have.
He's so young though. Like
they have a team this year who has crushed. Like they are killing computer metrics basically. Like from their team last year and their team this year. You look at these teams where we've kind of talked about like 5 years from now, I think people are going to be legitimately wondering like how in the hell did the 2025 Duke team not win the national championship? You know, given that Con Knippel and Cooper Flagg are both two of the best 30 players in the NBA right now. And I think, I don't know, like I just think that John Shire is trending in like the right direction as a coach, but I do think that he's going to have to win some of these tournament games to show for um, his reputation as a coach now these days, and obviously our friend Mark Pope, Uncle Fester. I think he's in serious trouble if they go out to Santa Clara. That would be kind of not as big of an embarrassment as I would say like losing to Oakland. But it would not be a good look, to say the least, given the amount of money that Kentucky has allegedly spent on their roster. Yeah, I would say those two are the ones that I'm like, man, you have definitely got to have something in this tournament to show for you guys being there. So
I think most to lose is Tommy Lloyd because like they've obviously like not had success in March since he's gotten there, and like they've been the number one team in the country a lot of this year, and they're going to be a lot of people's pick to win the national championship. And if they get tripped up somewhere that they shouldn't before, like they should be in the final four here. And if they don't get to the final four, it's going to be looked at as like a disappointment, another failure in March for Tommy Lloyd. So like I think Tommy Lloyd's got a lot of pressure here to like, some guys it's like pressure to win a game, but Tommy Lloyd it's pressure like you better get to a final four with this team. Cuz like if they have this year with this team and then fall short, like there's going to be a lot of people asking questions about not like Tommy Lloyd's job status, but like
sure.
just like he's going to have that tag attached to him. Like Matt Painter has fairly or unfairly like gotten a lot in March for like a guy that just can't get it done. And then most to gain is I was saying like just with the path of like what I described earlier. And like I think TJ Otzelberger is a guy who has a chance in this tournament to go from like everybody knows TJ Otzelberger is a great coach, but he has like a red carpet laid out for him in this tournament basically to elevate to like the elite status of coaches in the game, I think. And he has a very good path to do it. And obviously like we know like you win a national championship, you're a made man. And like I think like Otts has a great path to get to a Final Four here. So like I think most to gain would be Otts because like he has a chance to like really put himself in that top 5 elite tier of coaches.
Yeah.
And also, easy answer to this question, by the way, the Caleb Wilson injury, like just like saved Hubert from being in this because Hubert, if Caleb Wilson was healthy, like Hubert would have been the easy answer to this question. But now, like whatever, like North Carolina's playing with house money, they go and lose to VCU. It's just Caleb Wilson, like nobody's going to be asking any questions about Hubert because of this tournament, because of that Caleb Wilson injury.
I'd say most to lose. I would say Kelvin Sampson. Just because, like, he's run out of time to win a national title, like for his career.
I get what you're saying there.
Like,
it's like
I feel like he's after last year this might be one of his last shots.
I totally understand like what you're saying there because it's like if we had known going into the tournament last year that like that was going to be Bruce Pearl's last dance, Bruce Pearl would have been everybody's answer to that question because it's like this is your last chance to do it. And I totally agree with what Jacob's saying because it's like Kingston Flemings is the best player he's ever coached, and it's like I haven't looked at their recruiting class next year, but I doubt they have another Kingston Flemings walking through the door. And I mean, like they're losing Uzan and Cryer after this year. Like it's pretty much it for like. Did I say
Cryer's in the NBA?
Yeah. I had to stop myself for a second. Uzan Flemings. Who's their other guard? Sorry, we've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Sharp. Thank you. Yeah, they're losing. Yeah, I had to stop myself. I was like, wait, that didn't sound right. But they're losing Uzan and Sharp after this year, and Flemings obviously, and Is Tugler going after this year too, or does he still
I
have
don't think so.
eligibility
He's
left?
still got eligibility.
Okay, so Tugler will be back, but like they have one of the best backcourts in the country. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of stealing Jacob's thunder there by saying like, yeah, I totally understand the argument he's trying to make. Like this might, you don't know how many more shots Kelvin's going to get with a team like this.
I mean, it doesn't hurt his legacy, but just like the clock is there, you know.
Yeah, I think the All-Star spread is a little bit too.
And I'd say the most to gain, a Dusty May or TJ Otzelberger for sure.
Dusty's already been to a Final Four, so he's like comfortably at the top, though. I would say, but
just getting that having that championship roster, putting his name in that tier of elites.
You mentioned Pope there too, Matt. It's like I don't think at this point with Pope, like the book's kind of written on this. Like I don't think he has anything to lose going into this
Nothing
tournament
to lose.
because it's like
just more entertainment for me. But yeah,
a lot of people, most people are probably picking Santa Clara in their bracket. If he loses that, people are just kind of like, yep, like that's Kentucky this year. But like on the flip side, like if Kentucky gets to the Sweet 16 here this year, like that's a smashing success for Pope.
That would be,
which
yes.
I do think, by the way, like Pope's gotten a raw deal this year with all their injuries. Like
I will say that, yes.
Because I mean, Jaden Quayton's basically just robbed them.
Yeah, he got his money and got comfortable. Yeah,
like so. Yeah, I kind of disagree with saying Pope has a lot to lose in this tournament because like the book's kind of written on this season. So
that's fair. My bias has nothing to do with that answer. I don't know what you're talking about, but
on a fun note on Kentucky, Jack Golke also has the Santa Clara over Kentucky upset. Just popped up on my Twitter.
I think Jack Golke's going to pick against Kentucky every year for the rest of his life. I think, yeah.
I'll never forget. That was one of the first One Shining recap shows when we came on here after the Kentucky Oakland game, and Matt was fuming.
Just so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Oakland stunk.
I mean, do you put Cal on your like a lot? I mean, obviously he already has a national championship, but
I don't know. I mean, they won the SEC tournament. They like the Darius Acuff hype is like people are calling him the best Cal guard ever.
I'm saying he doesn't have anything to lose, but like
I think his reputation as a coach is pretty solidified. Whatever you think,
but
him.
He kind of has that tag as like an underperformer in March, and it's like if they can go on a run and like knock off Arizona here and go to a Final Four.
I don't think he cares because he always will have the like, well, I might have for what I don't have in what you deem NCAA tournament success I have in sending players to the NBA and this great history of that. So I think that he's probably content with what his reputation is as a coach, but certainly would help his case if, they made some more Final Fours or that kind of thing. But Kevin Young could be on that list also because of the amount of money that BYU spent on their roster between two players. And, obviously they're not at 100%, but that's a situation where, like, man, you've got to be, if you're a BYU booster, Mr. Crumble Cookie or someone, like, we did not spend this to go out in the second round.
Stephen Pearl. It's got a lot to gain.
Yeah.
Being an NIT champion in his first year.
Very much so, yeah.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's I mean, what are you supposed to do? Because, like, are you supposed to turn down playing in the NIT just because you don't want Alabama fans in your Twitter replies?
Yeah, that's a really tough spot to be in.
I mean, he's a first-year coach. Like, he can't turn down, like, the experience to, like, be, like, coach postseason basketball, even if it's the NIT. So it's like Auburn wasn't really in a position to say no to that.
Will there be a speech given, do you think, before the NIT to hype up the team?
No, dude, we didn't even talk about that. He sounded like a youth pastor, like he sounded like a Sunday school teacher when he was doing
That was rough to watch.
He sounded like he was making his pitch to like the committee,
Yeah.
he was like, "You guys have played the #1 strength of schedule in the country."
Like, you're the only team to go to Gainesville. Half those guys are like, where is Gainesville? Like, we don't know where Gainesville is on a map.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I said the other day I never have to watch Keyshawn Hall play basketball again, and I do. So like,
yeah, not so fast. Those teams better get ready. So, are you going to watch the NIT?
yeah, of course I'm gonna watch it. Like I'll watch, of course. Like I'm not gonna like it's Auburn basketball.
But like,
man.
if Keyshawn Hall, like, I don't know, if they lose against New Mexico, or if who'd you say they're playing? It's South Alabama. South Alabama beats them. Like, are
South
you gonna
Alabama,
lose
by the way, like got invited to the NIT because like remember last year the whole ordeal
Yes.
where like they fought. So that's the only reason South Alabama's in the NIT. Like, yeah, no, of course I'm gonna watch. Like,
But you won't like lose your mind if Keyshawn Hall crashes out and they lose to South Alabama.
no, I'm not gonna like. No, yeah, nor will I be like celebrating if we win.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, good. Like
That's
sweet.
fair.
Like,
Yeah.
That's like
it could be some good momentum going into next year, though. I mean, we saw it with A&M the year they got left out and went and won the NIT, and like it like vaulted them to a pretty good year the next year. So
Yeah.
I mean, get your younger players some minutes, more experience in tournament situations.
I'm surprised Todd Pettiford's even like if he's even going to be playing, or is he just like in the portal already? Like,
Yeah. That's a fair question.
is he just going to be like on the bench talking to Dan Hurley on the phone? Like,
Yeah. It's between like him and Shaheen are going to be arguing for, like, please come.
oh. Well, that does it for our NCAA tournament recap. Let's throw up the NIT. Oh, do we have a crown bracket?
I did not find it.
I
Well, I
did
didn't
not
look
see-
for one, but
I'm gonna look up the crown real quick, see if we got a crown bracket.
is Auburn sending any coaches to the Purdue Queens game?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh man, I wonder who they were there scouting.
Yeah, gotta find the best of the A-Sun.
I think Queens, most of their best players are seniors anyway.
We got a crown bracketology earlier, but I don't see like the bracketology earlier had West Virginia, Creighton, Indiana, who has already said they will not be accepting any postseason invitation. New Mexico, who's in the NIT, Wichita State, Cincinnati, USC, Seton Hall.
I just figured out who they were scouting on Queens.
We know who they were scouting.
Yoav Berman from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yeah, that was the joke. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Oh, Seth Greenberg has Michigan beating Michigan State in the national championship. That would be a crazy event if that took place.
That rivalry is nuts.
It is, yeah, and like
I know a guy who's a Michigan State fan, and like, holy shit! Like,
it's pretty underrated
Like,
for football. Also, like you would think that they don't really care because Michigan's kind of had more success than they have in recent years since the Mel Tucker stuff. But yeah, that is really intense.
Keep that in mind.
yeah. You guys got anything else?
I do not, but I'm happy it's March.
It's March, baby. We have a bracket.
Best time of the year.
I am so excited for the games, but I am not excited for like. I don't know if this happens to you guys often, but like when I talk to some of my friends who do not watch college basketball regularly are telling me they're like, I guarantee you this result will happen. I guarantee you Northern Iowa will beat St. John's. and they've watched like both teams play a combined 0 times, and you ask them why, it's like, because I said so.
Yeah.
That half court shot 10 years ago that beat Texas. It's like,
Or
okay.
people try to troll you and say, "Oh, I know basketball better than you," just to get you going.
Yes,
something.
that is
Yeah.
the like.
I have
Ugh.
several friends like that.
Yeah, they're like, guess I know more than you do. Oh, okay.
I believe, Jacob, you're the reigning champion of our bracket pool, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I had Florida over Houston last year.
I had Florida over someone, but the stuff that happened along the way definitely did not help my case.
I did really bad in the early rounds, but I'm decently good at picking later rounds.
Yeah, I'm
It's
usually
how
like a sucker for.
Like I would pick too many upsets.
Yeah,
Like, that's my.
I love it, and I will like for some reason talk myself into like Montana beating Wisconsin last year.
That was the one I had.
Yeah, like just stuff that was never gonna happen, and
yeah, I didn't do it this year. I was like, I just can't see it with any of these.
I
didn't pick anything below a 10. Or no, I picked one. I picked USF. That was my biggest seed line upset was South Florida over Louisville.
yeah, which I like hate because I love when there's just total chaos in the first 2 days in the first weekend. But yeah,
I may even go
that
back
first
on my
weekend of
acting
games
pick,
is my
to be
favorite.
honest.
But
At
no,
least the
I
second one.
appreciate the like loaded Sweet 16s and everything. So yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, I used to I like just growing up on those like early round upset games, like Morehead State beating Louisville and Richmond beating Vanderbilt.
I picked Mercer over Duke the one year.
I did not pick that.
Florida, I picked that. I legit picked that.
That
I
was
also
not a
picked
pick
Florida.
I made that year.
I think I picked Florida Gulf Coast, their first one. I didn't have them in the Sweet 16.
Dunk City.
Yeah, was there for that one in Philadelphia. That was a crazy atmosphere. Then they like inexplicably beat San Diego State their next game. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, it's almost 3 hours.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is March. Be back here. What, Thursday night? You guys want to do a show?
Sure, I'm down.
We'll be back Thursday night, and then yeah, I'll probably do like Thursday night and Sunday night this weekend. So yeah, and then if I'll talk to you guys about it. Yeah, like I don't think I can do Friday or Saturday night, but if you two want to do one, I'll set it up for you two to run it. So we'll play by ear. But
Unless craziness happens.
Plan on trying to be here Thursday night otherwise. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're almost 3 hours in here, so we'll call it a night. We have a bracket. This is March. Everybody enjoy the games later this week, and we'll be back at it. Make sure you like this. Subscribe to Sectator Media on YouTube for these shows. Follow Sectator Media for these shows on Twitter, on X, and follow One Shining Recap on X as well. And we'll have all our content out there and all our shows. So make sure you tune in, keep up with us throughout March because we'll be locked and loaded with these shows. So till then, thanks everybody for tuning in, and be back at it.